everybody, and welcome to Tales on Tap, a place where good friends get together and tell stories about close calls with solar dragons, life transference coming in clutch, and revelations of backstories creating some tensions in the party. I hope everyone's doing well and surviving the heat still, and before we get into tonight's announcements, let's say hi to everyone, shall we? While I just change this music.
Hi everyone, shall we?
Hi everyone,
I thought we weren't doing this.
We're stealing it.
Who's back?
You were
Back
wrong.
again.
Oh yes, we are rejoined
Chris
by
is
Chris.
back.
Tell a friend. Right, yeah, so as always, we are proudly sponsored by our good friends over at Valkyrie RPG. So if you head over to valkyrie-rpg.co.uk and use the code TALES10 at checkout, you can get 10% off on anything except for subscription boxes. But incredible stuff over there. The dice have treated us well in the past couple of weeks as we visited their stall at Games Expo. So, well, most of us.
And most of them are weighted. That's how we got like so many nat 20s.
We proved last session with all the nat ones that I got from the same dice, and we got lots of nat 20s the session before. So we improved.
Yeah. So Natalie seems slightly cursed,
Oh,
but
you guys didn't buy the
they
weighted
are
one,
amazing.
That's so true on so many levels.
They're in the subscription box.
Yeah, you can't get those at the Tales 10 code. But we are also running a giveaway right now. So if you head over to our Discord, which is in the description below, I know there's been some issues about it refreshing every 30 days and stuff. Dan, I assume you're going to sort that out in terms of linking the Discord.
Sure, I tell you what, I'm going to do that right now.
Okay, while he does that, I will explain what the giveaway is. So essentially what we want you to do is come up with your most creative NPC possible and throw it over into the NPC giveaway channel on the Discord, in the Discord group. And what we're going to do is we're going to get together over the last order session, and we're going to go through them all, and we're going to judge them, we're going to roast them, we're going to praise them to determine what our favourite one is. And the winner will receive a custom art piece and matching chibi of anything, any character, family, dog, whatever it may be, from our very talented Natalie over, I don't know which way you are, over there. Over there.
I do that every Tuesday.
Just somewhere.
Every single Tuesday. I'm like, over there.
I'm literally just showing the wrong way, it's that way. But anyway.
We should clarify that it can be any kind of NPC. It doesn't have to be like a statted warrior. It could be a shopkeeper. It could be something weird, like a weird little beggar that we run into or something like that.
It could be an animal that we speak to through Spit with Animals. Literally anything.
That would probably be the winner. Give us a speaking animal. We will.
We know how we like animals, all right?
We like to have a menagerie following us. But yeah, that's like, go over and do that, and then we will be judging them during the next last orders we have, which will not be next Thursday, because what is next Thursday is something extra special.
Why? What's happening?
What's happening, Dan, you ask? Well, I will tell you. I will put you out of your misery. It's next Thursday. I'll kill you. Next Thursday.
That's going to be my job.
That's Chris's job. Because the player becomes the DM in our collaborative one-shots with, we've got the DM from Roll Britannia, Dice by the Sword, and the Dirty Rollers, all joining us for a one-shot of, what's the name of it? We've given it the
name of the one-shot is The Grey Lich of Talon Guard. And so it's going to be a bunch of DMs and me running the game for them. And it should be quite chaotic. It should be quite fun. They're all going to have sort of certain special abilities that are homebrewed. It's going to be some crazy stuff going on. So definitely tune in for that.
I don't want to.
I can't wait to watch it and spend my points.
Oh yeah!
I can finally spend my points as a viewer.
Oh yeah!
To do stuff.
Damn it! I've got so many points.
Please put a point?
Can you change your voice thing before you?
Yeah, can you not be gurgle right now?
Oh.
Can we please put a point, like a channel point for disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
Oh.
I don't think there's anything that players want more than to fuck with their DMs. Can we please make this happen?
Give a DM roll. Give a DM roll disadvantage.
No, or are you saying to make a player have disadvantage?
No, give.
Oh yeah, because we can fuck with the DMs. I get what you're saying. Yeah, but it's going to be very fun. please do tune in.
Very excited.
It might all go terribly wrong, and then in which case you'll get to see that as well.
Yeah, it'll be fun
It's always
regardless.
fun.
We've got some trailers and promos coming out soon, and I will be releasing the art for our characters that we'll be playing. So I'm very excited just to get into that. Really, I'm
literally creating a channel point now called "Give Player Disadvantage" or "Give DM Disadvantage." So I'm going to create two.
Like
the more expensive one is to give the DM disadvantage.
That makes sense.
I'm going to give the people watching.
The power.
I'm going to give them the ability to give you guys disadvantage. This sounds amazing.
This is a really good idea, to be fair.
Yeah, but only for the one shot though. Only so that we can screw
No, he's doing it now.
You've made your bed, mate. You've made your bed. You did this, by the way. When this happens, I will be reminding you that you did this.
Oh, do we do like take 100 gold as well?
No!
Imagine you can't steal the
end of every
players.
session. We're just destitute.
Honestly.
I'm gonna make it. I'm only gonna make it.
Community.
I'm only gonna make it 1,000 points as well. So it's like the cheapest one that they can spend.
Disagree.
Okay. Anyway, well done. Does that? Is there any other announcements that anybody would like to make?
Nope.
Well, it's good to have you back, Chris.
Yeah, absolute silence.
Any
Subscribe.
more? Yeah.
Oh yes, subscribe.
Yeah. In my head, I was like,
Okay, so obviously you know the drill. You've watched stuff on Twitch before, but if you would like to give your money to us, we would very much appreciate it by having a subscription. But you can also use that sweet free Prime Gaming sub if you link your Prime account to your Twitch account, and you can just subscribe for us for free. And it'd be very appreciated if you did that. Obviously, no obligation. We know times are hard, but if you don't subscribe, at least give us a follow, guys. Like, come on. Give us a follow.
Yeah.
I love that.
The new emotes will be ready by the next stream. So all our emotes will be changing, apart from the Chunky Crits one, will be changing by the next stream.
I love.
Amazing.
You sounded like such a used car salesman. Then, by the way, you were like fucking zero commitment. There's absolutely nothing that you.
We also have no liability.
Yeah, that was so good. That was so good.
But yeah, also just all of our social medias are linked in the description box downstairs. So head over to those. We've got a lot of stuff coming out on YouTube, a lot of stuff coming out on TikTok and Insta and Twitter. So we're getting our social media game back on track. So head over to those and watch everything kind of transpire there. So yeah.
Watch some of our videos on YouTube as well. We've
Yes.
done bespoke YouTube videos as well. So it's
have,
not just
which
our
is very
stream
fun.
VODs anymore. It's other stuff.
It is
Right,
awesome.
More of that is coming.
In a totally unrelated topic, does anyone else feel like the start of this like ambiance thing is the start of like voodoo people or something from The Prodigy? Where it goes,
Perfect time to bring this up.
Anyway.
Anyway, without further ado then, I think that concludes all of our announcements and absolute shit talking. So
I've missed you guys.
go and quickly grab yourself a drink as we sit back and relax and get stuck into tonight's episode of Tales on Tap.
You know when I say 3, 2, 1, Dan? That's an indication that things are. Put your head.
Do you know what? I
your
shut myself then. I was
microphone
like, am I supposed to be recapping? I haven't been here.
Dan, put your microphone down.
Yeah, there we go.
You have the con.
That's
And
Sorry,
3,
I could put it
2,
in me.
1, go.
Go!
cool.
This short
Focus
ad
lock.
break was brought to you.
Oh,
by...
no. You can't just jump. Fuck off.
Take it away.
No, do you know what? There's no
Somebody
recap.
just-
Go!
Let's
Do!
actually-
Take
As
it away.
the DM, I command you, recap now!
Well, I can't say no to that. Google's log. Stardate 54868.6. What makes this quick is there's a lot to think about now. A solar dragon. That is what sits at the heart of the destruction here at the realms of Waterdeep. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would have said it was a mistake or an exaggeration. Emerging from its egg, what would normally have been an aggressively playful being turned violent. I believe this wormling was trying to claim Troll as its hunting ground. ineffective. I believe that is how we felt trying to battle this force of nature. The large green web of vine-like appendages connected to it seemed to draw in power, and what little we could do to it was absorbed away just as fast. So desperate was I to stop this creature from absorbing more life energy from this world that I let loose a form of mine that I do not like to show off. It is too deific in nature, but needs must, and this was one of those moments. All, however, worked out well. There was enough of our scrappy energy and perseverance to all fell as the beast was a few clean shots to the head. This did, however, trigger a reaction that was from within the beast that, if not for some quick thinking and muscle work by Gurgle, would have resulted in a nasty explosion that would have hurt us all. With the group picking themselves up and those who needed it healing what they could, I must admit the high tension had me a little unfeeling, potentially, but there's much to be done, and so I walk in the direction Ro pointed out to find what appeared to be some kind of machine. That is when, for the second time, in a short space of time, the timepiece began to burn, as did Ro. The hands had completely stopped on their move to catastrophe, and this heat that occurs every time I intervene in the affairs of the present. Is it a warning? Is it an after effect? I can't be sure. I lose myself in the ramblings of the thought of the moment, and the copper finally drops, and the answers for my eluded life come into focus for everyone. I do my best to warn them that what it could mean taking this on, but I guess knowledge truly is the greatest drug. Was Apollo coming down from on high? Was God-bothering little powers? No. Using his natural abilities to try and determine truth in a being while not taking hold with me, I had no intention of lying. I tell them that what I have is called a constant. Record. It tells before it has even happened. I could not watch. Could not stand. Astor. I realize it is not an easy thing to listen to if you're not accustomed to that way of life. Apollo walked away, seemingly irritated by the idea of my former school. Bella, while understanding, is probably having doubts about my intentions. Gurgle, well, I don't know if he could really grasp what had happened, but that might be a small mercy in itself. Gurgle and Ro turns their mechanical expertise to the machine, which they discover is some kind of large battery or energy storing device for that produced by the dragon. Gurgle was also able to pinpoint the exact location in chaos space where this energy was meant to go. I sometimes forget the real brilliance to that little slime ball. Sat under that grisly and oppressive exterior is a truly fearsome mind. We bat around the idea of returning the energy to the world, but having killed what I believe was the only thing powerful enough to do such a feat, I'm not sure what to do with all of this. I have to go. SpellJammer is hailing us with news, and I need to process this through. Maybe. It could be, I suppose. Wait, no. It is very possible. I have to go.
Nice.
Holy shit, I
damn.
literally messaged in our chat, like, did my internet fuck up again?
No, so filling in the blank for out of log purposes, Gio revealed to the party that he previously belonged to a school called the Kalashakra, in which they held the Universal Constant, a divination device of sorts brought forward from, it was previously scattered in the void of the astral sea before it was founded and made home within the Kalashakra. And it was the duty of the Kalashakra to read the events that were to take place and to record, to not interfere, to simply observe. But Gio had issues with that, and has revealed that he then turned to leave and has been on the run, assumed lost, according to Bellamy, since. This is news to all of you, and Apollo, hearing this and not agreeing with Gio having stood idling by for so long, left. Bella and Aqua, both injured from the battle, decided to also take themselves back up to the surface where the remainder of the party the NPCs that had tagged along and overcomplicated battle whispered.
What? No.
I'm
What?
self-aware.
What?
I'm self-aware.
Nice.
um,
We have no
But-
idea what you mean, darling.
but Gurgle,
I genuinely don't.
no, you don't. But Gurgle, Rory, and Geo remain beneath the surface of Waterdeep, near this energy console of sorts that you found, this conduit, speculating and theorizing of what could be done, and a very smart observation from Gurgle to potentially redirect the energy back into Waterdeep, potentially reviving it. But that is where we pick up this evening. But first of all, we're going to change that music again. We are going to go to Apollo. Apollo, you follow the path you took, climbing up through the crater and back onto the surface. Darius, Caleb, Knives are all there, and they kind of look at you with a questioning eye as you begin to walk with a destination in mind. Knives kind of giving you a nod and pointing you where she knows you wish to go. You continue forward into kind of the outskirts of the castle ward in Waterdeep. What are you doing, Dan?
Getting one thing, by the way.
Throwing up gang signs.
It's an N for notes.
It's
Notes.
reversed.
It's
Yeah.
You were throwing up.
Good shout. Who are we left with? I think it might.
It's back at
Nobody.
It's back at the top.
It's back at the top. All right, everyone roll a d20 then.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, I lost my 20.
18.
Ah, shit.
7.
My
Oh.
curse has ended. I got a nat 20.
Okay. So 7 for Rory, 5 for Apollo.
11.
So we're back to Apollo doing the recap next week.
Well-
Next time.
Guess what, motherfuckers? Wait for this, because it's gonna be good.
I'm sure it will be. But yeah, speaking of Apollo, thank you for the reminder, even though that was not at all notes.
Yeah.
It's an M.
Not side.
This is generally the
Yeah.
the universal term,
Not-
or in asking for the bill.
Yeah. But yeah, Apollo, you continue forward further into the castle ward itself, where Knives has gestured where the building you are hoping to seek out is. Is there anything you would like to do during this time as you walk through these empty, rotting streets?
Yeah, so as I'm kind of like walking through, kind of at first, not that anyone's around, but he'll just kind of like really kind of be processing what he just kind of like heard, but also then trying to compartmentalize and justify and reason as to, you know, put reason aside and just kind of like, okay. It wasn't his fault. None of it was. But much as you disagree with things, you can't always change the world just on your own, Apollo. Need people. Need people. Paladine, if you're there. Really do with you right now. God, Astrid, where are you? Shake it off, it's fine. It's not fine, of course it's not fine. Blast! He just kind of like kicks a rock and it kind of like tumbles down and he's just kicking up dust. And I suppose for like the majority of the journey, he just kind of got his head down, not even really paying attention. He's pointed in a direction, so he's just fucking walking in that direction. Like, he's not really kind of paying much attention to his surroundings as such. And then he kind of like eventually lifts his head up and he's like, fuck. It's got to be around here somewhere. There's no rush.
Just maybe a perception check to see how long it'll take you to find what you're looking for. But as you're walking,
me all night. Take me all... 14 plus 18 total.
18. So as you're walking and you're kind of pleading with Paladine, but at the same time just trying to focus and compartmentalize on everything that's been said, facing such a mighty beast on a surface of a pretty rudimentary planet as far as you're concerned. That juxtaposition is just that's the main thing that you're struggling with. It's like, why is this here? What is going on? This is bigger than I thought. I've heard whisperings across the astral sea, and I wasn't expecting it to be this.
Yeah.
And in kind of your mind's eye, you swear you could see a figure. And you go to look, and you see for a moment a flash of familiar long hair. And as you look and you go to focus further, it's gone again.
What colour was her hair?
What colour was the hair?
Was it red?
It was red hair.
Okay, if it's the person you're thinking about, it's red. Okay.
It's red. You see a flash of red hair at the corner of your eye, and you go to look immediately, but it's gone in an instant.
I immediately start running in that direction.
You charge to that direction, and there is nothing in sight. You're just chasing down a small alleyway with rubble everywhere. But thinking and looking and trying to find what you saw, you feel in your mind a familiar presence of Paladine watching over you. And you don't hear any words, but it almost feels like an encouraging sigh in the back of your mind, as though something is okay, that something is still out there, that she is still out there.
Kind of feeling that presence kind of almost consume me for a moment. I drop down to my knees almost naturally. Without trying to, beyond my control, I just kind of like drop, and my arms kind of drop to my side as I'm kind of like, okay. Straighten up, and I'll just kind of slap myself a couple of times, just kind of like, right, come on. And I just kind of stand up, kind of deep breath, and then I start immediately searching the area, looking out for not only that, I want to look for the toy shop that Knives mentioned, but in the general surroundings and the area, I will spend. I mean, what time of day is it now? I would imagine it's like midday, afternoon.
It'll be midday, yeah, because you went. You started the trek
first
at
thing, right?
Dawn, and then the trek there was a couple of hours. Then the fight. It's probably about midday at this point.
I mean, I would be happy enough to spend at least 2 or 3 hours. I want to be wandering around the area, looking through shops that may still have any potential things that. I mean, the first thing I'll be looking for is like something to carry lots of things. Like if it's a cart that maybe like I can put back together using mending and like putting it back. And then I want to look through. I want to look for the toy shop. I want to look through houses, other shops, and I want to get anything that in my head is a provision. So that could be clothing, blankets, food, you name it, like weaponry, anything that I can put my hands to. I want to like be collecting that, and I will spend the next 2 or 3 hours doing that.
Okay, if you're going to spend a couple of hours doing this, just roll me a perception check with advantage, and I will get back to you. So
that is a 23.
23, nice. Okay. All right. So, panning over to below the surface, Gurgle, Geo, and Rory, the three of you are still in this energy core room. It looks kind of, as you're kind of taking a moment to look around, you see a couple of other passageways kind of leading off, and you see bedrolls and just makeshift campfire equipment that you assume obviously doesn't belong to a solar dragon. Solar dragon's not going to have a sleeping bag, but the other creatures that seem to be there to defend the area, it looks like this is where they had set up camp and were laying dormant in case anything came to tamper with the solar dragon.
That's the immersion gone.
The solar dragon sleeping bag was the seed, okay? It was the egg.
That makes more sense.
Right?
Right? In the time that we've been down here and all this stuff's been going on, studying this sort of engine or whatever it is, this sort of conduit that we found behind the main chamber, does any of this technology pique anything in my data banks, my memory banks?
In terms of familiar tech to you, that type of thing.
Yeah, or just like just familiar tech.
So Google rolled a tech check last session and rolled stupidly well. And essentially what it is, there are no defining markers on this, like no emblems. This isn't like this belongs to the Galactic Empire or anything like that. But together, but together you both deduced that through this main kind of console interface, you were able to locate where the energy was being sent towards. The tech itself is relatively, it looks like it was rudimentary, but then it's been essentially buffed to withstand such levels of radiant energy. It just looks like a craft project of a mad scientist gone wild, is essentially what it looks like. The console itself and the kind of conduit mechanism that is the solar dragon, they don't look like they should mesh.
Okay. Yeah, so here's a question, and this might be pushing it a bit. But am I able to determine between the kind of Bosch together technology that's here and the style of technology that we saw through the telescope back at the SpellJammer Academy, can I infer from that whatever put this thing here was then found by someone else, and that someone else then tried to harness whatever it was? Or does this thing seem like does it seem like this is meant to be here and this was the original intention of?
Yes. So from that and from the lack of other kind of interference, as you've been scanning around doing your usual sweeps of everything, you notice that this is the only thing here. It doesn't look like it's been hijacked. It looks like this is what it was meant to be planted.
Okay.
What was been asked before and none of you can really determine is what came first. Was this base?
This is what
was this base set up first? You don't know, and then the seed followed.
Because I'm imagining like the seed fell, someone found the seed and then tried to do something with it, or did the seed come down and then this thing was put here for the same purpose? Like,
what would I roll for that? I think I'm going to get you to roll me.
I have theories on this as well, but I don't know if it requires rolling because I just have a general theory about
it. Then speak.
Okay.
Roleplay, my dear friends.
What?
That was almost as good as DM. Can I look up?
RPG, not just
right. Okay. So I'm assuming Ro and Gurgle have taken sort of covers off the general battery storage component. There's sort of like an exposed inner working of the thing itself. These vines, do they look? If I like take one, feel it, mesh it around a bit, does it feel organic?
Yes.
So pure plant, like it's pure plant matter, or it's a bit sort of wavy gravy in that area? It's
wavy gravy the closer you get to the console. It almost looks like it fuses from wiring to organic material.
Right, okay.
Cool. That's very cool.
So just while they're looking through the machine, just having a general look around, do I see papers, schematics, books, anything like that? Is there any sort of like general building sort of things like, that goes there, use this hinge for this? Yeah, like an IKEA book. Is there an Allen key anywhere?
There is an Allen key. Just roll me. To be fair, it won't take too long. So basically, as you wander around and you're looking for schematics and you stumble across the camp, you do spot what looks to be blueprints of the engine itself.
It's a SpellJammer Haynes manual. I love that.
And what you see is essentially the equipment. The pages look dated. And from what you know, the seed itself only landed a couple of weeks ago.
So whoever set this up knew that it was coming.
Yes, that's the impression you get.
Okay.
And sorry, just point of clarity. When Ro had this reaction to this area, he's unaware of that, right?
Yeah, it was as though just something in your mind was like, I need to check out this area, and you went there.
Okay. Fine.
Sort of looking around at all the stuff and fiddling with things, having a grind. Says, gentlemen, do a little brainstorming with me just for a second here. So this entangled web we find under the core of the Earth seems to be here for a reason. Are we all under the same idea that the dragon came after, maybe?
The technology here seems to predate the arrival of the seed.
though more analysis
Yeah,
would be required to determine any more.
I'm on the same sort of line of thinking. Most likely the dragon was sent with the seed that dropped, and they probably spent quite some time to set all of this up.
Indeed. I don't know much about solar dragons. I know they are generally like to be by themselves. They live inside stars of all kinds. They absorb the radiant energy from the sheer amount of fuel being burned, but they are hungry beasts, to say the least. And if someone planted one here and put it in the heart of this machine for the express purpose of absorbing energy, the core of this planet would not be enough to sustain it, but life is abundant. If this was some sort of reverse engineering of life energy using this dragon as a biomechanical energy converter of sorts that pulls in the life energy, absorbs it, turns it into radiant, and then stores it in whatever this battery is, it's almost brilliant.
You have an odd... That's an odd choice of words for something that is killing thousands of people, I have to admit.
I don't mean brilliant in the sense that I am inspired by what it is, but the sheer scope and scale of something this incredible. It's just... I don't know what to think of...
Converting life matter into energy and other materials is not an unknown science in the universe, though on this scale, I cannot say. I will allow you to analyze my own onboard systems, if you would like, and you think it would help.
Yes, you have been...
Rory...
I can crack him open.
Rory without saying anything, Rory holds up his arm, and a little panel on his forearm of his sword arm clicks open. And in there you see 2 vials, 2 of which currently have a kind of chunky crimson liquid in them. And one of
Very coagulated.
And one of them is empty. And there is a lot of circuitry leading into the end of where each vial goes and up into the rest of his arm.
I mean, I'm not particularly mechanical, Gurgle, so if you want to have a look over him... My friend, you have been acting very odd lately, and more about you is coming to light than I ever thought would. If you are okay with it, Gurgle, take a quick once over from him. I'm going to go have a quick look out there, just for a second. And he sort of walks off into the chamber where the dragon corpse is.
All right.
Rory's head follows Geo as he begins to leave. Just very slowly watches him.
It's okay, my friend. I'll be back. It's okay. Leaving his kid with a nanny.
You ready, big guy?
Check,
yes.
Please.
Check.
Would I be able to assist him in this?
You absolutely can assist, yes. It's your body.
Yeah, given that he is checking me.
Yeah, I was about to ask that question as well, because Gurgle has had a lot of experience, obviously, because his suit of armor is an automaton that he's basically broken down into parts and rebuilt. So I imagine that Gurgle would have some idea of basic knowledge of autonomous.
You would imagine, but I would not have given you advantage just by yourself. But with Rory's age, you absolutely can, because Rory is a different entity.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. He's a completely different breed, basically. Okay, cool. Let's do this.
So you're wearing a skin of another person.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like you've just hollowed out a corpse and gone, yeah, I'm gonna wear this. It's fine.
Oh, it's fine.
Well, I mean, it was a dead person.
Oh, good.
We're
Not
hoping
really
to
a
send
person.
next.
The only
are
living
not
part of an automaton is basically the one part that makes them human. Once you take that out, it's machinery.
Justify it any way you want, man.
Yeah, will do. Let's see. Tech check.
With advantage.
With advantage. Well, I
What's
rolled
plus proficiency?
2 and a 15.
Okay.
So let's just find my modifier, which is.
Oh, also for anybody watching, they did level up last session. I just haven't updated the character sheets, so they are level 7, but it doesn't really matter for this session.
Unless we want
22.
22.
I will use my reaction because I leveled up, which is my flash of genius. So I'll add 4 onto that, so it's 26.
26.
Nice.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay, so for the 26.
You're going to need high to figure out what's going on with Rory, trust me.
Yeah. So, focusing on the arm purely and the element that Rory is exposed to you, you see the wires and the circuitry that are leading up into him. You're kind of going in and you look through, and through your mechanical fingers of your armor, you can't really get a gist of what it is, but you take out your actual arm and you begin to feel it, and it doesn't feel like wiring. It feels organic. But then it becomes...
was a real boy.
So it feels almost like an artery, but plated in metal, leading to this area. And as you're kind of having a closer look at Rory themselves, you see that their kind of internal makeup is unlike any automaton warforged, anything of the like that you've ever seen previously. There are no kind of where there should be processors and kind of
servos and
and memory cards. They are there, but they also don't seem to be functioning in the way that they would normally function. It's as though they're supplemented by something. Something else is keeping Rory going. And you identify where that thing is that seems to be kind of taking control and helping all of his motor functions, brain functions, processors, all of that stuff, and you find it in the back of his neck. But you do not know what it is. Even with a 26, it is unfamiliar to you. There is no chance you would ever know what it is. But it's as though the composition of a warforged, of an automaton, of an autonome is there, but it's enhanced, it's changed, it's modified, it is different. It is more advanced than any unit you've seen previously, which is odd, given the fact that I think has it been revealed now that he is a prototype? Yes, you told that to Apollo. Which makes you wonder, if this is the prototype, what happened to the later versions?
So we're all killing Rory, right? We've figured that out. We're just
my
gonna
robot friend alone.
Certainly try, my friend. I have parameters.
I love that. I love that.
That was weirdly sensual. I have parameters.
So that is what you uncover on a 26. Unless there's anything specific you have questions of, and I can answer for you.
I hope that this is helpful to your investigation.
I think it might be. If you wouldn't mind coming a little bit closer to that thing, and I can do sort of comparisons.
So I'll lead him towards the machinery and basically place him next to the cables that become sort of organic.
Yeah.
And Gurgle will basically retract the upper half of his suit so he can sort of wiggle
Just got his
himself
trousers
out.
on.
I'm imagining, you know, in Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah. The wrong trousers.
That's amazing.
No.
Can I look at both the cables and basically have a feel through them and Rory's sort of arteries, or what's supposed to be basically his tubes,
Yeah.
See.
It's tubes.
And see.
Do plasmoids conduct electricity? Are you making a connection right now?
Oh yeah, that could be dangerous.
No.
Well, basically, see if they are similar
Hook me up to the mainframe.
in sort of in texture and in how they are go from organic to
so
sort of the metal plating.
The transition between kind of the tech to the organic is very similar. However, within Rory, it's a more humanoid kind of organic. So you've got like the artery texture, whereas with the machinery, it's more of a vine texture. But the way they seem to transition and kind of feed into each other is very similar.
Rory, here's a very odd question.
I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Have you ever been electrocuted? Have an overload of hours surged through your systems?
You hear like the for a long time, and it goes on for it goes on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 30 seconds until it stops.
I have recovered early records of a surge of energy, but some data is missing. It was shortly before my long power down.
Is there any way you can access those records and maybe put them up on the display there? Do you have a recording setting where you record moments of your life? Sort of like humans have memories.
You hear again.
The data is unfortunately corrupted.
Oh, well, you might as well give it a shot.
If you would like.
Come back to...
I'll basically see if I can either make a makeshift plug-in for Rory into the nav computer.
Out of one of his fingers, there comes out a very thin little kind of, not like a USB, almost like a USB-C little, like a little fork.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Fifth Element?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the little key that comes out of the big guy's fingers? It's like one of those, and he puts that into a little socket on the thing. And I know I don't have the data of this, but I will try and recompile whatever code I have and whatever data I have stored on that. And I know it's probably very jumbled, but...
Yeah. So as you kind of plug in to the mainframe, you see fractured, almost like TV static up on the screen. And then you see emptiness, the absence of anything. It cuts again, and you see a spark. Cuts again, a bigger spark. Cuts again, a brighter spark. And you see almost Rory's consciousness powering up. You see visuals of the astral sea, of asteroid clusters in the distance, of various pieces of tech and machinery and everything floating around.
Can I just add something to that? It's like kaleidoscopic.
Yeah.
So it seems like things are happening in the same space, and like, you know, it's all just colliding with each other. Yeah,
it's basically this inner turmoil. Like there is no central source of gravity that's pulling anything in. It's like there are multiple sources of gravity. Everything is pulling itself together. It seems to be overlapping. Some things are happening simultaneously, while other things are happening completely disjointed and fractured all around the place. And you cannot get to grips with what is going on. There is so much happening, but you see this flash of bright energy, and then you see nothingness.
This flash of bright energy, does it resemble anything of what the dragon put out in its beam that it shot out of his mouth?
No. No.
Right. Hmm. Okay.
How much do you remember of the feeling during that moment?
I felt nothing. I feel nothing. Can you clarify what you mean?
Well, you talked about that you went into shutdown. Was it like... Did you feel pain?
I do not feel pain. The shutdown was a necessity.
A necessity because you became overloaded? Or a necessity for some other reason?
It was necessary to conserve my core power.
So your core power could have been depleted if you didn't shut down?
Over a great amount of time, yes. I am sorry I cannot recompile the information in a way that is more understandable to you.
No, that's okay.
As Rory is still plugged into this machine, you see the screen go from black to a flicker as the systems boot online again in this memory, and you see a ship approaching in the distance on the screen.
As that happens, Rory's head turns back towards where Geo went.
Is that Geo's ship?
I believe so.
Yeah. You see a kind of escape shuttle launch from the ship, and you see a hand belonging to a very tall woman reach out and pull Rory in.
This was when I was recovered.
Any idea who the woman was?
Yes. Though, I think that is something you should ask Geo.
Well, they are your memories, right?
Geo has primary user status.
That's fair. Alright.
You see a feminine face, sharp, angular features, a furrowed brow, deep blue, almost black hair pulled up into a bun, long strands on the side, this beautiful earring from her ear, these kind of pirate-looking clothes, a deep black cloak. As she looks down at you, it seems, and softly smiles and raises an eyebrow.
And as that image flashes up, Rory adds, "Now."
Now?
Geo has primary user status now.
She did before.
This was my former primary user. Former primary user. Primary user status was transferred to Geo.
But is she still a user? Or is she erased from your system as a user?
I have maintained their primary user status. Their user profile.
Sorry.
Yeah, inside check on that. Did he mess up, or did Chris mess up, or did Rory mess up?
I messed up.
It was Chris messing up, but I'm not going to be your own.
I was like, I need to tell fucking Geo, he might be usurped.
Hey, you can try and insight check the salt lamp that is my head if you want, but
And you hear,
I
Geo, you hear from the other room, kind of the first audio to come through as it kind of cuts again, and you are kind of the video feed is looking up at a bright light, and you see the figure kind of shadow through the light, tinkering tools in hand. And she goes, "Hey there, little one. Let's try and get you back on track, shall we?" And you hear that very familiar voice, Gio, from the other room.
From somewhere deep within the cave. From somewhere within the cave, you hear just like whatever he was holding hits the floor, like very sort of panicked, almost like running. So he's like, and Gio just like runs around the corner, his cloak in her, like cloak swishing it. I didn't tell you I still had memories about my friend. Oh, my land. And he sort of stumbles slightly in.
Jumbled memories, to say the least.
No. That is the woman. No, that is they who fixed him. That is my Landry. I have not seen her in so long.
Landry?
I didn't. Yes, Landry Westling. The woman. No. They were my love. So the one I want to find very much. But what I'm doing has... When I left the Kali Chakra and dotted around from port to port trying to find my way across the universe, I discovered them, and they discovered me in a port. They were rough, aggressive, full of spirit and adventure, and they couldn't hold down a crew to save their life. No one was willing to fly into the asteroid belt of chaos space or go to Doom space to see what was up. But she was there, and they were beautiful. And when I found them, I told them I wanted to go adventure and find things, and I had to follow a watch, and that was enough. And we boarded our ship, the Space Bitch. It was her name. She loved it. And we traveled for the longest time, and time grew and moved on, and eventually we just fell in love. And as we adventured, we discovered Ro, and they were mechanical genius, better than any I've ever seen, and they fixed them up, brought them to life, and it took a while before Ro stopped trying to murder us, but eventually we got around it. And a month, maybe 2 before I got to SpellJammer with Ro, we were traveling around, exploring markets, places, the kind of place you go where black market dealings are done and strange and incredible things are sold, and it was attacked. I don't know by what exactly, but we were separated. Ro and I were thrown to one side, them to another, and I told them I would find them. They told us they would find me. And I never could. As much as I've tried, as much as I've searched, every port, every star dock, every crew, they never turn up.
My primary directive is the protection of my primary user.
They were your primary user, I know. And it shunted to me when separation occurred and the danger happened.
That is incorrect.
What do you mean it is incorrect?
You were given primary user status under the instruction of my previous primary user.
You sort of see, like, you see his face break for a second. He's like, of course they did. Of course they moved you. Why wouldn't they? They wanted to protect me. I wanted to protect them, and I couldn't. I'm sorry, Gurgles, this is... No.
No, it's alright. Back up a minute, though. You were attacked?
Yes, we were...
By a ship?
No, by... Who were we attacked by? I remember trying to figure it out, but I think I left that up to you.
It was Astral Raiders.
Do I remember? Yeah, so it was just... Astral Raiders, just one of the many gangs, one of the many groups that exist outside of the realms, trying to get their hands on whatever they could. say.
Did
No.
did you see the group? Did you get a good look?
Not in the confusion, and it was a firefight. I wasn't expecting it. We were desperate to get back to our ship.
Rory, do you have a recording?
You see, as you kind of look back to the recording at the moment, you hear Gio's voice. What are you trying to do with it, my love? I do not understand. What do you think is going to happen here? And Landry
Is that really what I sound like?
It's weird when you hear yourself on a recording, isn't it? Like, why did nobody tell me that I sound like that?
And you hear Landry just go, I have plans, darling, don't worry. I think whatever this is will prove useful. And then it cuts
Well,
to
she
black.
didn't choose you for the accent, at least.
And it cuts to black again. And kind of, Rory, is just sparked to think of the moment the ship was attacked. It's almost as though the video cuts and fast forward. You see time of you, Landry, and Gio on the ship in fast forward and super speed, and then all of a sudden there's a massive jolt, and it's as though everything lurches as something collides with the ship, with the space bitch. And you see through fallen cables, fires crackling in the engine room, Rory at the navigation console staring down, but thrust to his onto his ass, basically. You see Landry kind of crawling over to you, putting a hand on your face. It's like, re-register primary user status to Gio. Do it now. Go after him, protect him. I don't know who this is, Rory, but protect him. Okay. And she leaves.
Gurgle's going to go up to the console and basically try to manually fast forward, and as soon as there's a bit where you can see any part of the ship or the crew, he's going to freeze frame.
Okay.
As he goes to do that, Gio's he sort of stops, but seeing the memories play out, he just sort of leaves him to it because it's too much for the moment. He just stands and watches what comes up.
The light inside Rory's head goes red.
Rory, make me another wisdom saving throw.
$15.
I'm going to spend my reaction to give
me disadvantage.
To that.
I want to know what's going on. I want to know what will
I want
happen.
him going haywire on my ass.
Okay. You do so. I'm just conscious that we've been down here a while, so you are siphoning through Rory's memories. Bella. Almost called you Hallie because your Zoom name is Hallie. Bella.
I need to change the one.
You are up top. You've just kind of helped Aqua, who's still looking pretty worse for wear, up to the surface. Knives, Darius, and Caleb, all there. No Apollo in sight. You head up to the surface. You're kind of greeted by a soft smile from Caleb. Does anyone want to tell me what the fuck that was?
I don't know. Aqua. And she kind of grabs her hand. So glad you still have that on. I think that saved me in that fire.
I wasn't going to take it off.
I've never removed mine either, even though we were so far apart. Are you okay? And she's like literally like moving her side to side, like checking for injuries, and yeah, she's generally looking her over.
Hey, you know me. We've been in, well, I can't say we've been in worse scraps than that. That is probably the worst thing I've ever faced in my life. But I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
Good. I don't want you I don't want you leaving us just yet. Thank you for saving me again. I mean, how many times is that now? Well, let's not count that list.
Bella, you've saved me just as much as I saved you, okay? We're even. It's not we owe each other a life debt. If that's the case, we owe each other plenty.
I will definitely repay that later.
I look forward to it. And you can see she's like joking, like she's clearly in pain, but she's trying to put that to the side.
Yeah. Is there something I don't know exactly what they're doing down there, but I can't help. Is there something you want to do right now?
I just want to check that everyone back at base is okay. And Knives kind of pipes up. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see what the others are doing, and then we'll head in. Apollo, I think, is busy on his own mission, so I'm sure he'll join us later on.
I should really check in with, and I want to say Brownie.
Yes.
Yeah, nailed it.
Give me a second, will you? As I walk slightly away from Knives and everybody else, and I touch my comm.
As soon as you turn on the comm, you hear, fucking hell, how fucking long were you going to leave us rotating around the fucking planet and just, what, for each other's company? How many times should we just scan?
Sorry. We got distracted down here. I apologize. Did anything happen while we were down here that we should know about?
What, with the other sites? What do you mean? Be more specific.
Mainly our site, the site that we are. So we came into contact with what we think is causing this, and we stopped it. We killed it. So I was wondering, is there any change to the
oxygen levels, and the atmosphere seems to, well, not be getting worse, at least, in this area. Can't say the same for the rest, but if you've figured out what's the cause, we could maybe relay messages around. Maybe back to the SpellJammer Academy so they can send troops out to deal with it further.
I would say send a few. Basically, there was a dragon.
We are the fucking troops.
This is a private comm. Get off this land.
You have to push the red button if you want to do that. Like,
this was closed.
Otherwise, we're all here. I'm joking.
I was gonna say this was closed comm, wasn't it?
This was closed comm, yeah.
Okay.
There was a dragon, so maybe relay that. A solar dragon, I think. Geo said.
You hear from the same mic. You fought a dragon?
Flapjack!
I miss Flapjack.
Yeah, can we kill Brownie?
Yeah.
Oh, we can't. Brownie's
All
great.
about
Leave
it.
Brownie alone.
All about
I'm on it. Don't worry, I'm on it.
No.
We did, and we fought it, and we won.
I'm very happy that you won. I've been trying to reach Scar, but I can't. I was worried.
Disabled.
I was worried about you guys.
I'm sorry,
Is
we should
everybody
have
okay?
checked in quicker. Everyone is fine. We have a few new allies down here, a few old allies. So they were able to help us out. I think we are almost
Did you
done
find
here.
that girl you were looking for? I overheard you talking about her to Gio when I was really drunk, and I just remembered that now. You've got the girlfriend.
Yeah, we'll kill Flapjack too.
we did. She's fine. Very fine. And no, we did. We're all okay. We shouldn't be too much longer. As long as there is no other threats in the area. There's a couple of things we want to do down here, but we will be back soon. Just stay close by, so for for
Can I
extraction.
stop doing loops now? I'm really running low on fuel at this point.
Oh, like, can we
I've got
get
enough
back to
to get. I've got enough to get us. I'm not stupid. I'm going to get us enough to get back to the point where we need to refuel.
Is there a place we can refuel nearby, just in case? I'm sure you know that anyway. Don't worry. You can stop doing loops. Did you get a number of the sites?
There were 5 sites. And then you hear kind of a little like push away. Yes, there were 5 sites across various continents. Different. Most of it seems to be in kind of forested areas. This was the main city that seems to have been targeted. I'm not sure why they chose here, but yes, there were 5 sites.
Well, it seems to be draining life. So life can come from forests as well as people. So, that sort of makes sense. Okay, that's good info. I will let everyone else know, and we should be ready to go soonish. I don't know. They're still down there tinkering with machinery they found.
That's okay. You take your time and let us know when you want us to come and get you. Flapjack, you stop it. Just let us know when you want us to land.
No, we don't want you to land. We'll let you know.
You want us to teleport you back on time?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Flapjack. Thank you,
No problem,
Brandy.
Ella.
And she.
Bye. Love you.
Oh, I love you!
Love you too. She boops.
Such a weird, inert reaction that I just had then. I'm sorry.
Spirit of
Best boy.
Pesco is on. She boops the intercom and opens it up actually to the rest of them. Are you guys done down there? I've really struggled with another southern person in this party. Are you guys done down there? I think they're getting a bit low on fuel up on our ship.
They're getting low on fuel?
Enough to
How
get
many
us back, but I think they kept looping until I just spoke to them.
Why wouldn't they stop after one?
Shit would loop the Earth more than one time.
Okay,
Not questions for me.
I would be happy to explain to you the nature of orbital dynamics if you wish.
Not necessary.
It takes no more power to orbit a planet multiple times than it does to orbit a planet one time.
That doesn't seem right.
He's correct.
Okay.
Remind me to recalibrate the fuel reserves when we get back up, because something tells me she pushed the pedal to the metal.
They also said that they would relay the info back to the SpellJammer Academy to see if to send backup for the other site. So I don't think we're needed here to take down the other sites. There are 5 other sites. But I think maybe we should get back to the SpellJammer Academy and give them a proper report and see what else they want us to do. Even though we now know where the power's going, I think we should go back there soon.
All right, give us another 30 minutes at most. We should probably tell Sayus to get over here fast. Egg extraction seems to be the way to shut this shit down.
Well, I'm just above where we jumped down with Aqua and the others. So though Apollo seems to have gone off on his own mission, I will.
Sure, he'll be back. Maybe.
I will send him a message. Oh no, he's too far away, isn't he?
Yeah. How long is your link?
I think it's a mile. Let me just double check. Bella features.
It's like Astral E, isn't it? It's just wherever there's the pylons.
Psychic.
Yeah,
really bad at what I do.
Does Toral have 5G?
It
Oh,
took
yeah,
a second.
Yeah, it's a mile.
A mile.
Yeah.
At this point, he would still be in range.
Oh, good.
Okay. I will send him a message to see what he's doing and to let him know that we are looking to leave sometime soon.
Well, he shouldn't be. Well, if he's gone far enough that he can't hear this, then I don't know. Try wandering a bit and see if you can find him. If he's listening, then Apollo, you know what you just heard.
He doesn't have a comm.
Does he
He
not?
is only connected to me. Okay.
Oh, right. He wasn't. Yes, of course.
All right. I'll let you guys
forgot.
go and carry on what you're doing. I'll send him a message just in case he is almost out of range. And
Okay, cool.
I disconnect.
Okay.
And then I think in my head, trying to connect to Apollo while he's desperately trying to swallow.
While he swallows that, DM,
Yes,
when I
I'm done
scan.
now.
Okay, go for it.
No, I'm joking.
No, mine can wait. Mine can wait.
Apollo, are you there? Can you hear me still?
Can you hear me?
Hello.
One of the more friendlier voices that I was hoping to hear.
Oh, good. I don't know if you're busy. I don't really know what you're doing. But we are, we're finished here, and we're probably going to be leaving somewhat soon. If you give me your location, I can help you in your mission if it's not a private one.
That won't be necessary, but I would advise against rushing off so soon. There are people here that need aid. I'm not one to...
You found survivors?
We did when we arrived. And they're not in the best of position. I'm doing what I can, and I don't want to leave until we've at least put them in a better position for survival than they were before we got here. As much as I understand we might be on a tight schedule, and God knows what we might find out there, and if it's anything like the horrors we've just experienced, then I don't want to leave these people vulnerable.
Evan!
I can't...
Stop doing that.
I can't stand...
I don't know what's happening.
I can't stand idly by while people suffer.
I understand that there are people here that I care about too.
If you all head back to the bunker, I'll be there as soon as I can. I'm just trying to help.
That's noble. Okay, I don't think this connection certainly won't cover the entire city. So if at any point I don't answer, just that's why. We really have to sort you out with the comm. Maybe there's one on the ship.
If we do, would everybody hear our conversations?
Unless we make it a private conversation. There is a way of making a private conversation.
Then
yes.
I'd prefer not. But I appreciate the offer. If I do wander farther than your connection might reach, then just trust I will be back at the bunker as soon as I can.
Okay. Obviously, if you find any survivors that are in the city, just send them to the bunker.
I will bring them with me. I won't be leaving anybody to suffer a fate that they can't deal with.
You really are a noble soul. Okay.
I just do what I think is right.
Okay.
Bella, is Aqua okay? I rushed off before, but I apologize. My temperament has got the better of me, and I shouldn't have left somebody with such wounds unattended. Is she okay?
She is okay. I'm tending to her. She'll be.
I'm sure you are. Fine.
Right, I might disconnect.
Yeah.
I got him, thank you. Yeah,
so DM, from when I downloaded the schematics of our new ship,
yes.
Is there anything in this sort of technology that we've got in front of us that, like a power source that could give us additional fuel? Like, is there anything I could extract? Any energy cells or anything like that?
So you know that the entire thing is essentially an energy cell, but from what you and Gurgle have looked into, you feel like at the moment it is too unstable to know for sure what it would do. If it'd even be compatible with the ship, it's a stretch, and it could also, turn into a bit of a nuclear disaster.
I perform a risk assessment, and I decide, in the interest of user safety,
Yeah, absolutely
not pull apart the big nuclear reactor.
No, and do not
Health and
take out
safety
the
dictates.
boron
Understood.
rods that
Understood.
are prodding into it. No.
yeah, understood.
Gurgle starts pulling the shit up. DM, check your messages.
Oh, yeah. So you pause the video where you see a glimpse of a ship. And you are pretty sure you know what ship this is.
Oh my god, there's so much going on in this episode.
It's all coming out, guys.
Looking at where he stopped, he goes, does this mean something to you?
Yeah. I think it does.
DM, is there any way of seeing who's the captain?
Not from this view, no. Because you're basically just seeing the outer shell of a ship, chaos, fire, stuff being damaged, like metal caved in. Like, your vision is blocked. The fact that you can even recognize the ship is just because of how familiar you are with it. There is no way of discerning who's the captain.
Okay, is there a timestamp of any kind?
What, on like an old video recorder?
Like a VCR.
Yeah.
VCR thing, yeah.
Is there a way?
Just told you that the most
Christmas,
advanced thing
yeah.
you've ever seen. It's like, oh yeah.
It's Christmas, 1997. I don't know.
Oh, fuck, get the pencil. I've got to rewind it back in.
In my ear.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have this.
No, you don't have it. So into the salt lamp. I mean, it would be... Rory would know the date.
Rory. When was this?
2 months, 14 days, 3 hours, and 14 seconds ago.
No, it's not the time for holding back.
Sorry if that's wrong, by the way, DM.
No, I'm just double checking something. Hang on.
Pulled that straight out of my ass.
Yeah, we are checking the same thing, DM.
We're just
the same thing.
collaborating. Yes, hang
It's
on.
after.
It's after, yeah.
Yeah, we need to discuss this at some point.
What is it, Gurgle? If this is something that has taken what I love from me, I need to know what it is before we go somewhere and time gets away from us.
If power is diminishing on the ship and we have a journey ahead of us, perhaps that might be a better time to discuss this.
Right. We can discuss it more later, but to keep us all informed, that's my former crew.
You see like a genuine scowl go down almost over the tops of his glasses as he looks down at you. He says, "What do you mean it was your former crew?"
You hear...
Before they tried to... Or this is... If the video is correct and Rory's memories are intact as to what time he says it is, this is after they tried to kill me.
So when
Inside
you said
check.
when you said former crew, you heard Rory, when he moves, is almost quite graceful, and like the sounds his arms make are not like mechanical. They're very and like almost like smooth. But you hear probably for the first time a creak, like a as if he's getting two signals at the same time telling him to do opposite things.
Is that the sound of Rory wanting to strike, but his interface knowing that he's a user, not letting him go, fuck you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of what I guessed. If Geo could creak in the same way, you would hear the same kind of noise come from him. His fingers kind of tense by the side as you hear the two of them like do these things. On my insight, by the way, I got a 17.
17. Go. Deception or persuasion?
Natural 20.
Of course, if I can.
And
what-
I'm
what does-
absolutely
Yeah.
I'm absolutely telling the truth.
You see Geo, like, there's a small snarl to the side of his mouth as he looks over. Fine, I will give you the benefit of the doubt, and assumes you have not brought catastrophe to my life because you felt like it. Ro, put Gurgle's user status on probation for the moment.
Temporary
He is-
probationary user status enacted.
We are watching him carefully until more of this is discussed. And he flicks his coat and just turns to go into the thing to do what he was originally going to do with the body.
Oh, fucking hell.
Quick question though, Rio or Geo, before we do
Rio.
this.
His name is
Rio.
He dances in space.
if they are ever chipping Rory and Geo, it's Rio. It's canon.
There's a love between man and his robot. Sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah.
What?
Can we put me on probation after we try to save this planet? We might need Rory's help for this.
Roy will not go after you as long as there's more prevalent threats to the other users. You will be fine.
Fair
And I can
enough.
trust that you haven't destroyed my life. I will take you off probation, but until that point, we have much to discuss, Gurgle.
Oh my
Can we
god, man, I
start with the fact
can't.
that we might be able to reverse engineer this and pump the excess energy back into the planet?
We cannot. We would need a solar dragon drains this area of life. The only thing that would be able to do that, if we could reverse engineer this technology, would be something similar.
That has yes, it's something that has contained such an energy before. And
Gurgle points at Rory.
Would I know? I'm assuming the answer is no. In terms of what I have on board, the process isn't reversible, is it? From what I know.
From what you know, no. But Gurgle kind of you'd have been privy to the conversation that Gurgle and Geo were having last week, where they were discussing that if they were to be able to reverse engineer it and take some of they wouldn't be able to they basically wouldn't be able to get all of the energy back, but there is still basically half an energy cell core full, and it was a thought of whether they could redirect that back into the earth. And the thought was, what would be used as a conduit to deliver that? It'd have to be something that would have been exposed to extreme levels of radiant energy to be able to disperse it through. And solar dragons are one of the only creatures in the astral sea that are immune to radiant damage and do not have the issue of being a conduit. They are immune. They can just basically be there, transfer the energy through, and feel no impact. You'd either have to have complete immunity to radiant energy, or there'd have to be something special about the conduit that was specifically designed for this purpose.
And I'm not. I assume.
You don't know.
I'm only saying that from what I've seen from Rory's memory banks, he has sustained a lot of energy before his shutdown. It's the
Has he
closest
lived-
thing we got.
Has he lived in the core of a star?
I don't know. I saw a flash of energy and then I saw nothing.
If you would like me to act as a conduit, the process is not yet complete within this core. There may be some reversible aspects to it, though I cannot guarantee that my quantum processors will be able to handle
Oh,
such a burden.
that's a risk I reckon we can take.
So loud. He was like,
That was-
I reckon.
Sorry.
Not there.
Sorry.
No, we are not risking. We are not risking a friend of mine to perhaps reverse engineer this. He is not a dragon. He is not built for this purpose. We don't know how to do it. We can go back to the SpellJammer. We can figure it out. But we are not putting him in the heart of this machine and just hoping it will go.
How about we take the last remaining energy cell then and we bring it back to the spacecraft?
Can it be taken out?
I think so.
It's the randomizer.
From my nat 20 from last session, DM, would I think that I can?
You feel like you could remove it,
out?
but the issue is the same that Rory was facing in terms of transferring it into and hooking it up into the spaceship for fuel.
Oh, no, I'm just taking it as a nuke.
So what I'm saying is, if you take an uncontained nuke out of where it is, it is currently held together by rods, clearly stabilizing the core. Yes, I am taking this from Chernobyl. There are basically boron-tipped rods fusing with the core to stabilize it. If you were to remove those rods, meltdown. If you were to take the entire machine, it would be extremely cumbersome and difficult to move it up with what you have on hand. There would be ways to potentially get an excavation team to do the same thing, but you, as you are now, you would be putting everyone at extreme risk were you to try and extract this and bring this with you.
He doesn't care. You can see it in his smile.
I'm tempted. No. TPK.
You're at the bottom of the list right now, buddy. I wouldn't put any of my users at risk if I were you.
All right.
Let's just...
So
what? Yeah, go.
It's doable, but we would need basically an entire team to do so.
Look, let's just get topside. We'll contact Sayus and SpellJammer, tells them how many sites there are, what they can do to deactivate each one, and that the engines can be moved intact but not apart. We will do that and go see what else. Let's just go, okay? I want to check the dragon anyway.
I concur with your analysis.
So, walking back into the thing, you just see Joe go, please, you are fine. He is not going to kill you. You're not going to kill him. He is fine. Just...
For a brief moment, as you're sort of muttering this to yourself, walking up from behind you, Rory just grabs your hand for a moment.
Geo sort of takes it and just locks fingers. Are you okay, my friend?
Are you okay, my friend?
No. I fear a great deal is happening, and I worry for you. You are all that remains of what was, and I will not lose you, no matter what you turn out to be. But I don't even know where I was going with that.
Do not worry. I will not let anything happen to you.
And neither are you, my friend.
Rory lets go of his hand and begins to walk towards the sort of wall bit that we walked up and sort of turns back to offer Geo a hand in scaling.
So just a few quick things I want to do, because I'm not going to take ages doing this. I know I always say that, but
here we go.
Scientist.
Go on.
No,
Take samples. Take samples.
Yes, pretty much, yes.
Okay.
So from the acid pool, if I just take like a small vial and try and scoop some, does it just dissolve the vial?
The vial is dissolved, yeah.
Yeah, straight up. Okay, so can't take things of that. In terms of the dragon, how much of it remains topside? So it's like its head, like what's left?
It was what Gurgle grappled. So the head and the neck. The rest is essentially, because of the explosion, it basically all the sinew that was holding the neck to the body detached, and the rest of it is kind of slooped into the Radiant slooped into the Radiant pool, and it's dissolved. So you basically have the head and the neck which is clearly damaged, and it's like holy sinew. It's not like holy sinew, but there are
holy sinew, Batman. No, okay. So walking up to the head, he just goes, "Oh, this is all I need," and I'm going to take out the skill potion, down that, and take medicine as a skill. And basically, I just want to collect tissue, brain matter, some skin, just like bits of it. And I'm just collecting stuff to try and get a good analysis of how this thing looked internally and just that kind of jazz. But
absolutely. Roll me a medicine check then.
Do I add my modifier? Or do I add my proficiency bonus so that now I have
you add
as
your
a skill?
Proficiency and your modifier.
Cool.
You basically gained temporary proficiency in it.
Yeah. So okay, that is. Sorry, math. 19.
Okay, so you successfully managed.
Add 4.
Yeah, because Gurgle's gonna. I mean, I'm behind them.
Okay.
Are you?
All right, add 4.
Okay, add 4. Okay, so that is 22.
22. Okay, so with the 22, you successfully extract some brain matter, a few scales, a bit of kind of blood, kind of the internal workings. You've got samples of everything you think you need. You go to look at the remaining eyeball because the other one was torn asunder, and as you kind of open the lid, you notice it's still burning. This nebula is almost still there, and with that check, you know that it's best not to interfere with that because that just looks like your risk assessment of that is if you touch that, that is bad. So you leave the eye alone. But
that's more the weekend. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got your samples that you can then go into. I'm not going to give you detail on them just yet, but
no, that's fine.
Samples ready to go.
So slightly bloody in the arms and sort of a bit, sleeves up, short kind of thing. He just takes Rose's hand, still looking like he's taking something apart, and goes, "Okay, topside, my friend."
Okay. So you make your way up. I'm not going to make you roll checks for it because I got Bella up there quickly. So you all head up, Geo assisted by Rory.
Rory turns into a stairmaster.
Yes. I love that. But Gurgle, as these two.
I've got the best picture in my head right now.
Geo is riding the Stairmaster Rory 3000 up the crater.
Just legs crossed, very nonchalant. It's like, lovely.
You are kind of at the bottom, about to head up yourself, and you think back. And you think to the time that you were on the ship, and you think of a different headpiece you had as part of your armor. Obviously, it's gone through many changes and developments since then, and you remember it being a lot more slender, a lot more oval in shape, a lot more similar to Rory's head. And you feel the weight of the artifact within you, and you wonder, did they mistake them for me? Is it my fault? And you push those thoughts to the side and begin to climb up. Apollo, in the meantime, having done a very thorough investigation of the nearby area, you're able to find a cart. You're able to find several sets of linens that are slightly kind of moth-eaten, but they're still usable. You're able to find some tinned food, probably enough rations to last another 2 weeks. You're able to find a toy of your choice. There are not many left.
Okay.
A lot of the wooden ones have been eroded. There are a few kind of metal ones which look slightly more intact, but they're a bit rusted. But you could quite easily fix some of them with your mending spell if you wished.
Yep.
You can pick what toy you wish to get. Yep. You also, in that travel, you hear. Shh. And you see a trapdoor swing shut, which looks like it leads down into a sewer. And that is where we're going to take a quick break for 15 minutes.
Hey, bye, bye guys. I'm going to go off and just...
We're going to take a quick
The
break for
Adventures of
15
Apollo.
minutes. Make sure you go grab yourself a drink, and we'll be back probably about 5 to 8. And yeah, we will see you there to see what it is that Apollo has stumbled on and what the rest of them now rejoined on the surface will get up to. So go get yourself a drink, have a bit of a relax, and we will see you again after the break.
Stay hydrated.
just had a quick break. I hope you guys have gotten yourselves hydrated or back to relaxing, have some fans on you, and we are going to kick back in where we left off.
I don't want to.
With everybody on the surface outside.
Oh, you
of the
little
crater.
shit!
So you all rejoin atop the surface of the crater. Apollo not in sight. You'll kind of get your bearings. You see that Darius didn't take any damage, but is still kind of like squinting, and you can see that like he's actually as though he's got floaters still in his eyes. That he's trying to almost like waft away as though they're flies swimming in his vision, but he seems to be doing okay. Caleb's kind of got a comforting hand on his shoulder and is giving it a gentle squeeze. Knives is kind of pacing out of impatience, waiting for you all to rejoin. Obviously kind of calmed a bit by Bella's reassurance that you'd all rejoin them soon. But it's probably been about half an hour, as Gio said, since you last spoke to them, Bella. But you hear them all ascending. Rory as a stair lift and Gio atop him.
I mean, that was a joke. For sure.
I know, but I like it. I like it too much. I like it too much. And then Gurgle following relatively soon after.
As they all reappear, I will let them know. I've spoken to Apollo. He's just trying to gather provisions for everybody here. So I've told him that we'll meet him back at the bunker. He just wants to leave everyone here better than we found them. Which I can't really blame them.
Well, I mean, killing what was in that hole kind of does that originally, but okay, I can understand his needs. He says while he's sort of like pushing blood and like stuff off himself, sort of a bit gore covered. But there's no stopping him, so unless we don't wait, we have to wait, I guess.
No, I mean, yes, I think this has stopped whatever's happened here, but you saw how they were.
I would still consider this hostile environment.
100%. I mean, there's still 5 other sites of this, so that there are beings here as well as potential other dragons, if that's what these seeds spawn.
Solid
so I
dragons,
did.
yes.
If all users can get to an area of safety, then I could go and assist him and make sure that he returns safely.
I think he's okay. He still seems to be within my range. So he'll let me know if he's in danger. But I think he's okay for now. I think he's taking this personally. So
understood.
Yeah.
And everyone else is okay? We never actually got to that part.
I mean, I'm okay as I can be. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what the fuck that was.
Is that Aqua?
Caleb.
They have the same voice.
Caleb, you made it, my friend. It's just good to see you.
Couple of octaves, but sure.
Yeah.
Are both of them? Because I know Aqua's down on hit points, but Caleb
is also pretty rough.
Okay. Gurgle's gonna not say anything, just go up to both of them, and basically take their what's it called? Is it the forearm?
Yeah.
Basically take their forearm and give a little bit of a jolt and cast Cure Wounds at both of them.
Alright.
As Gurgle walks past to this, Bella would notice a very visual sort of watch as he moves from Geo.
So Caleb gets 10 hit points.
Okay.
Aqua gets 9 hit points.
No, I'll update
Good
actually.
stuff.
Geo? And she does say that on a sort of a lower voice. Did everything go okay down there? And she is literally looking between you and Gurgle like...
No. It did not. There is things to discuss later. Did you get in contact with Sayus at all?
Oh, actually, no, I didn't. I contacted the ship though. I told you that already. But I think we should wait till we get to the bunker to do a full report. It's always a bit annoying getting half a report and then another half a report. So maybe we should just do a full report when we get back to the bunker.
Potentially, but I might
Unless
just
you want
call...
to. I mean, I get that.
No, I might just call them and tell them to start rallying as many people as they can to get this way to start deconstructing and deactivating the other sites. So you need time to mobilize, and by the time we get back...
I did tell Brownie to send for backup for the other site, so I would say that they have contacted her about that.
I mean, they are very forthcoming, I will admit. No, it's just...
I know, I don't really like their attitude towards Flapjack, but
oh, Barney's, she's adorable. There's nothing wrong with a bit of a feisty personality. It's nice. Just let me contact Sayus. You just stay there for a second. I'll just make sure this is got across properly, and then we'll head back to the bunker. And I won't do it, but Jill will just go and talk to Sayus and say, look, mobilize 5 sites, dragons, egg, pop it out. It should be fine.
Bullet points.
All right. Yeah. So you relay the bullet point brief. Over to Sayeth. Yeah, the Cliff Notes version over to Sayeth.
Yeah, I'll transmit any kind of schematic data about the machine that I was able to gather as well.
Yeah, and also basically Sayeth relays back that they've received the message, and Brownie has also given them the locations of the other 5 sites as well, and they are attempting to mobilize and gather troops who have currently been circulating the realm space system as it is, and sending them and deploying them inwards. As you all kind of gather yourselves and I assume head towards the bunker where you will then later meet Apollo. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Apollo, you see and you hear that shushing just a little ways down the street where the toy shop is located. You're kind of busy at the moment, like head down, whittling away, trying to like use mending and crafting as much as you can, where you hear that and you see out the corner of your eye a shutting of what looks to be a trapdoor.
Okay, how far away is the trapdoor from me?
Probably about 60 feet. It's not far at all.
Okay, have I finished with the toys?
You are.
I will pick up what I need to pick up. I will not make eye contact with where that is. I will start dragging the cart away.
Yeah.
But as soon as I know that I'm out of eye line from anybody looking from that trapdoor to where I am, I'm going to stop where the cart is, rush to around 30 feet quietly.
Okay. Stealth check.
This is with disadvantage.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's actually not too bad. That's a 13 with disadvantage. That's with a -1. I got a 17 and a 14, so that's not bad.
Okay, so
Proud of you.
So you
I have disadvantage, so I was like, no, this is gonna be rubbish.
Yeah, you make a little bit of noise, but it could quite easily be the rustling in the wind. You managed to kind of disguise it quite well, and you keep to the shadows so that if they were to come out, they wouldn't be able to have direct visual on you.
I'm keeping in my mind eye the image of where that trapdoor is.
Mm-hmm.
And I rustle till I know that I'm around 50 feet, and then I bonus action Misty Step behind it.
30 feet, yeah. Okay, you do
literally
so,
like stood still and just apparate so that I'm behind, because I know where the hinges are, and I behind where it is, and I just stand waiting.
Okay, so as you're standing waiting, you hear from below the slight kind of scuffle and someone climbing a ladder once again, and you see the trapdoor open slightly. That's from your angle, you just see it opening.
Yeah, I don't say a word, I don't move.
And they kind of take a moment, you see it open a little bit more. They're looking around. You see that they spot the cart just a bit off before they push the trapdoor fully open.
Yeah, I kind of lean back and let it hit my knees.
And you see kind of the back of a bald head with pointed ears, this tattoo of a snake curling from the neck up into the head itself. A kind of like slightly pinker skin tone, kind of scrappy clothing, a kind of feminine form begin to make their way out.
Only one individual?
Only one.
Okay. As soon as they kind of breach the top of the thing, I need them to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okie dokie. That is a 12.
A 12. I've cast Whole Person on them. They freeze in place.
You see them just kind of, as they've got 1 foot out, they're just pulling themselves up, and they stop.
Yeah. Do I hear anything else from down below them?
Yeah, you hear an N. An N.
Okay. I immediately poke my head down, Misty Step down.
You Misty Step down.
Literally. And as soon as I do, I just Misty Step down and just as if I'm ready to fucking go, but I'm concentrating on her, but Misty Step. Boof.
So you have dark vision, right?
I do.
Yeah, so you see in what is, as you Misty Step down, a sewer tunnel. But you see huddled around 5 figures in cloaks. Some a variety of species. You see a gnomish individual, you see a couple of humans, a tiefling, and also a elf, all kind of just huddled around looking up, and then they look at you as you jump down and just immediately push themselves against the wall.
Are any of them armed?
None of them are armed from what you can see.
From what I can see, but they're wearing cloaks, so I don't know.
They are wearing cloaks, so you don't know.
Well. What little creatures do run through the sewers? What do we have here? Are we having voles? Rats? Speak. What is your business here?
You see them all kind of frantically look at each other and look up to where Nen was. And you see this tiefling who is quite bulky, probably about 6'4". She has this long, kind of cascading black hair, deep blue eyes, a purplish skin tone, kind of harsh features. And she looks down and she goes, "What do you want us to speak about?
Do they look...
You have...
Sorry, go on.
You have interrupted. You have come here unannounced, with weapons, done something to my good friend up there."
Do they look disheveled?
Very.
They look destitute.
Yes.
Worse than the people back at the bunker.
Yeah, you can see the what would be a very filled out frame of this tiefling individual. You see that her cheeks are gaunt. It looks so angular because there is basically no fat on her face at all.
Kind of stand kind of to... Apologies, but I was merely taking precautions. Your friend, Enen, I believe?
Yes.
Don't worry, Enen. We'll get you down in a moment. I kind of click and the whole person drops.
Hang on. You see her...
If she drops...
Yeah. You see her kind of go to and falls.
I will immediately rush to catch her.
Okay, and you do so, and you plunk her down. And you see that this elfin individual is probably only about 4'9". She is very small.
Yeah. Well, there's no wonder that they sent you up first. Word to the wise, when poking your head through trapdoors, make sure the hinges are well greased.
You see that she just kind of looks perplexed for a second, and just who are you?
Ah, so it wasn't rats, it was owls. Wonderful. Well, my name is Apollo. I'm here just with some friends. We were scouring the nearby area to gain provisions for a group of survivors. You don't look like you've had a good meal in some days.
Survivors?
Oh,
I mean, there are more.
Thought you were the only ones.
We haven't seen people in a long time.
Well, now you have. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm sorry for the rude intrusion into your... Well, here. I can imagine why you've kept such tactics to keeping to the shadows and keeping underground. What we're roaming above ground, we seem to have dismembered so far. Follow me.
We've encountered far too many creatures who sought to do harm to us.
Well, you cannot count me among one of them. I shan't do you any harm unless I see that there is a need for such, and right now I do not. Come on, let's get you all a good meal and maybe we can talk. And I just begin to start climbing the ladder.
You kind of see that they all stop and you hear the quiet muttering, but you hear a couple of people kind of talking out in dissent of the idea of following this person who's just bounced down into where they've been keeping safe, but then you hear the desperation kind of win out and they all begin to follow you up.
I mean, if they're still talking, I'll have maybe gotten to the cart by now and picked up one of the tins of food and just like thrown it down the thing. Be like, come on, there's more where that came from.
And you see that you see like a long hand kind of, which is already halfway up the ladder. You can see that the tiefling individual is already kind of on board to follow, kind of catch it. Come on, let's go. And they begin
kind
to
of
follow
like
you.
reach down a hand and help them up.
Yeah, you do so, and you have these 5 individuals and an N with you.
Well,
kind of.
Those shoes don't look like they've seen much but filth over the last few, weeks is it?
A couple of weeks, yes.
And you've been down there ever since, have you?
We've made travels up to the surface every once in a while, try and find provisions, but they've been scarce.
I am led to believe that this place has been desolate for some time now. At least since whatever caused this.
We have not seen people this close to the center. Mainly bodies.
It's probably for the best. Now, are any of you injured, hurt, sick, or dying?
I mean, we are all dying.
Well, yes, but that's
and you can see Nen kind of like nudge them and just go, apologies, it's just quite nihilistic, but let's keep going, and I think we're all okay enough. Good meal in us and we should be fine. We've lost a few of our party, but we should be okay.
And is this all that's left?
It is.
Then I am deeply sorry to hear that. A lot of people here have lost, everything. Some people have not even made it out with their lives, so you must count yourselves among the lucky ones. Though it must not seem so at the moment. Now, I've been gaining provisions for some other individuals that I've found, but if you're in dire need of something, then speak it, and if I have it, then you may. Let me give it to you.
If you have water, we would be most appreciative.
Unfortunately, water is a scarce commodity at the moment, especially in this place. I would highly recommend that if you have the strength to do so, make it out of the city as fast as possible. You had the right idea, keeping underground, but staying in one spot for long enough can also be detrimental to one's health. You must keep moving. If you run out of resource, you run out of time. Are any of you gut hunters?
And you see the tiefling kind of look to the elf, who has a bow that they've clearly grabbed from the floor. They weren't wielding it before. And he kind of just looks up and he goes, yeah, I am.
And if you're a hunter, you already know that there is abundance of life along the land, and that in the rivers as well. You will find much sustenance, but not within this place. Gather what you need, make haste out of this place, and make for a new. Your lives are not over yet, and neither is your time. But I would not stick around this place for long, for it will be some time before this is built back up again. None will prosper here for a good many years.
We did not know if it was safe to leave. Clearly, if you've been walking about, it must be. To some extent, at least.
That it is. Allow me to join you to the city limits. I can at least protect you until then, and we can discuss this a little more, and then you can make your way out of here.
I'm Mavrakus. by the way.
A pleasure to meet you. My name is Apollo. Apollo Zaraxis. I am from, well, a place far from here.
Okay. And they all kind of follow you. Mavraka's giving you a hand with the cart as you... Are you heading to the south gate?
Whoa! Never said I was taking the fucking cart. I'm going to give them a bit out of it, and then I'm going to escort them far the fuck away from the provisions.
Okay.
You're such a helpful individual. I have stuff. You can't have it.
No. I'll give them enough to see them over. I'll give them the bare essentials, but they're not...
Okay. So
I'm going
you
to
give
make
them...
sure...
Yeah, so you don't give them, obviously, all of it. You give them a portion so that they are able to survive for the next period of time on their own outside. And you escort them to the edge of the city, point them in a direction where life seems abundant and seems to be normal before...
During that walk, do any of them give me the impression that they're up to no good? Do I get the sense that they're being dishonest or have ill intent?
Check.
Yeah, I don't want to inside check. I want a vibe check. That's what I want to do.
Okay, roll me a vibe check, which is an insight check.
Yeah. I'm just totally checking for vibes right now. Oh, that's not great. Oh, I have a great insight. Oh, 13. I rolled a 6. I have a +7
Vibes
to
seem
insight.
pretty legit.
Yeah.
Pretty legit vibes.
Okay.
From what you can tell.
Then as we get to the city borders, I'll take my own water skin, which has at least a day or two's water in, and I'll hand it to them and wish them well on their way.
Okay, you do so. And they look a bit lost, but Mavraka's kind of rallies them and they head off. And you return to the cart and make your way to the bunker.
Not immediately.
Of course.
No. What do you mean, what else, man? I've been sat here for 2.5 fucking hours.
I'm just trying to rejoin the party is all, so I don't...
I know. I'm not going to go directly. I will go back to the bunker, but I'm not going directly to the bunker because I'm a little bit wary that they might...
Okay.
So I'm going to take a bit of a diverted route up and left, another left, right. And when I get there, and I'll kind of stop at points and just kind of like listen out. Once I get the sense that I'm not being followed, then I'll kind of like make my way back to the bunker. But that's all I want to do, DM. I'll kind of...
No, that's fine. Yeah, you do. So you kind of take some odd routes, and it looks like you're going for a time further into the center.
Yeah.
Any eyes that were on you immediately are taken off. It's just like, if he's going in there...
Yeah, sound. So they have... So did I get the sense that they did follow me back in?
They didn't follow you back in, but you felt as though there were some eyes trained on you. And you notice a small bird up in the sky that seemed to be following you.
Okay.
But then it saw where you were going, and then it disappeared.
Okay, sound. Yeah. That's what I wanted to make sure didn't happen. I didn't want to just fucking go beelining it to the bunker and...
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
So then, yeah, after I've done that, I'll make my way back to the bunker.
Okay. Yeah, so in the meantime, you guys are all returned to the bunker, have headed down through the outhouse entrance, back into kind of the main lobby, and you see everybody who still seems like all of their bags are packed. They look like they were ready to drop everything and leave in a second's notice. And upon your arrival and your return, there is a sound of relief, of all these held breaths exhaled as people see you return. And you see Boots, who was right at the front, immediately sprint to Knives and wrap his arms around her body.
So just for clarity, the rest of them went back. I'm not back there yet, right?
Yeah, you're not there yet.
Okay,
no.
cool.
You're kind of on your way back after all of this kind of exchange has gone on. You're back at the bunker?
Once we get back to the bunker, I want to pull Aqua to like her area.
Mm-hmm.
You can leave your hat on.
No.
Continue.
I just sit her down and
You're going to leave again, aren't you?
there are more worlds out there that need help. And this isn't by any means over. They They were taking energy from this world and sending it somewhere. And we need to stop that. I need to stop that. I don't want to leave you again, but I don't think you should, as much as I would love for you to come with me, as much as everything in my body wants you to come with me, I don't think depriving these people of some of your talents would be the best thing.
I would feel wrong to leave them as well. I think a naive part of me thought that maybe you'd come home for good, but I know that that isn't you. You, as much as we for so long did stuff simply for the paycheck at the end of the day, I know that deep down you have such a strong moral code, Bella. It may be twisted in its own way, but you see good and you want to do good.
I do. I guess moral compass has changed slightly since the last time we met. I think you helped me with that, and they have helped me as well. This is bigger than a paycheck right now, and I will come back home. If it's the last thing I do, I will come back home.
I still need you to show me the stars one day.
Yeah, I keep meaning to do that. If I could take all these people with us, I would, but they would freak the fuck out, and you know that.
Yeah, I don't really know how I'm gonna explain this to them. Might just say it was some weird thing from the center of the earth instead.
Monsters. There are monsters here. There was a big beastie. That's all they kind of need to know. But I will definitely keep in contact. Might be sparse for a while, and I will make it back to you.
Just, can I have your ring for a second? Just a second. I'm not taking it back.
Better not. That was a promise, and I gave it back to her.
And you see that she darts off to the back where Caleb's alchemist station is, and you don't see what she said, but she comes back without the rings. She's like, just 2 moments, okay? I think I've got an idea.
Okay.
You know how they link us?
Ideas.
You know how they link us and we can switch places? I was thinking that maybe we can have them link to talk. It might not work, I don't know, but if we could...
If that's something he can do, I'd give him more props than I've been giving him.
I mean, he can like make stones talk. It's weird. It's like he like records himself and puts it into a stone, and then the stone repeats it. I'm hoping he can maybe tweak that, advance that a bit. I don't know, maybe your friend Gurgle can help. I don't know. But it's an idea. Because if I can, I understand that you have to go, but if I can at least hear from you and not worry if you're alive or not, except through weird dreams.
I would love that too. That dream is the only thing that kept me going the last couple of days, to be fair. So, yes, that would be amazing. Hopefully he can do it.
You know how proud I am of you, right, Bella?
That's hard to hear. No one's really ever proud of me.
Look at you! Look at what you've been up to! You go off in your ship, searching for more work and more money and everything, and you come back a changed person. You were already pretty fucking spectacular before, and now look at you.
And you see she's just kind of like full on blushing through the... I mean, she's already fairly pink, but she's like now almost red. And Yeah, she's just like, and she gives a big hug.
And she whispers in your ear, "You are everything to me. You best not go dying out there."
I try my best.
And she kind of kisses you on the forehead before parting and goes to pester Caleb. The rest of you, I'd say kind of, Apollo, you're approaching the bunker just for time's sake at this point. You're probably reaching the outhouse, and you see Darius is not taking a break, is still just stood sentinel outside, along with Rory.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, you're right.
I would have taken Gio aside as soon as Bella would have gone aside.
Okay.
Sort of, as Gio watched Bella, and I was going to call you Halligan, but that's not your name.
Nope.
And Bella's the other one. No, Bella's you.
Aqua.
is the one you were. There we go. I know who's
Got
who.
there in the end.
All the
Yeah.
names.
Sort of watching those two go like to the side and having their little moment and aside, Gio sort of looks around ever so slightly and just goes, yeah, and sort of just wraps his arms like he's folding them, but sort of just around himself as he sort of looks around, hoping just in his own dream space that someone would come out and just embrace him the same way, but it doesn't happen. At which point he probably would have felt Gurgle tug on him and instantly snapped into a worse mood than that. And right, you. Shall we?
Yes. Okay. This corner seems to do.
I mean, they're all corners. I have nothing to hide unless you do.
Not from you, no. Right. So. Where to start? About a year and a half ago, I was part of this crew on board a ship called the Nebula Star. That's the ship that attacked you guys. We were basically astral raiders, attacking and scavenging, raiding, hence the name.
Yes, I'm
I'd been
familiar with the work.
recruited from the Rock of Brawl when I was the same size as I am now. We don't really grow with age. We don't really do anything with age. We just are. And I've been on the ship basically ever since I was, I guess, a small plasmoid, whatever that means. I wasn't treated to my full potential there, and I wanted to be something more, do something more, and so every port we stopped off, anything that I took from our raids, I basically put towards my armor, which is why it's of different materials, different things. And eventually I found an autonome, which I scavenged. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, our former captain was a dick. And she didn't see my potential, and I was young, I was power hungry, and so therefore I heard from the rest of the crew that they were not very happy with her either, and so they planned a mutiny, and it was either be on their side or get killed. So I managed to persuade them into that I could be a useful part as a navigator. And in return, all I would have to do was to take control of the navigation's hub during the mutiny. And I did. When the mutiny came along, I did my part. I performed excellently. to control the navigation hub, and then I started to hear whispers about the Baylor, the one who orchestrated this whole thing, and the new captain, at least from what I know of the Nebula Star. He talked to some of his close henchmen about maybe killing off the port. Me. I wasn't needed anymore because I'd done my job. So I decided that fuck them. And I stole some of their coffers. I stole one of their ships, the smaller dinghies that we have. They had. And I ran away. I've been living about a year and a half, or a year and maybe 5 months and a couple of weeks, as a runaway until I met Scar when my ship was attacked and I needed to basically crash land and fix it. He helped me fix it, and he talked about SpellJammer Academy, which I thought was, well, I mean, there's no place that they're gonna look for me if it's basically a fortress. So I said that he could hitch a ride with me because I was also going there. Hence why I ended up with you guys. Now they are looking for me. And since I don't want them to find me, I keep secrets. Sort of like how you keep secrets about recording the doom of everything and running away when
It's
you
not
don't enjoy the thing that you did.
It's not the nature of keeping secrets, Gurgle. We all have information we wish to keep to our chest. If it wasn't so personal to me, I wouldn't have had the reaction I did, but you have to understand. That ship, that being, was my life. I lived and died for them. That was the first instance of true love I have felt ever. And now it is gone because of the people you know. Whether you were there or not, I am still unsure if I believe you. Quite frankly, you are a little hard to understand, and your nature is aggressive, to say the least. I give you the benefit of the doubt and believe that you did not have anything. You can fuck off, Dan.
What is happening?
It was a response to Dan's face.
Just because the Lord Almighty thinks I'm being hypocritical.
It's just you getting the people are aggressive. I was like, what?
Pans over to his best friend, the literal murder robot.
Yeah, but I like him.
Right, so here's the thing. I don't get the concept of love because I don't love people. I haven't
That is
been
your
brought
problem,
up to
not
love
mine.
people, so I don't. Well, it's currently our problem because we obviously can't seem to relate to each other in this apartment. What I'm saying is, I had nothing to do with them, but I think we are on generally the same terms. I'm pretty sure that you want to find out what happened and probably get back on their asses for what they've done.
I don't really have a need for revenge. I just wish to find Landry.
What if they can get you those answers?
What? The crew you were hanging out with, they are the key to all of this, are they, Gurgle?
No, I'm just saying, if they attacked you and you want to know what happened to your partner, maybe they are where to start. And I want to get back at those fuckers for trying to kill me.
If we come across this ship, then by all means we will investigate whatever they are doing. I would imagine they were just
I
attacking.
won't kill anyone of importance until you've gotten your answers.
I mean, just not killing people in general would be a good start. Unless they are attacking you, don't just do it because you have to, Gurgle. I get it, this is your MO in some way, but I don't really subscribe to that.
My whole reason for being alive right now is because I've attacked people for knowing. That's the only way that I've stayed safe so far. The only reason why they haven't found me yet. Now, I suspect that they are still looking, seeing as a couple of months ago they attacked a ship that they saw had an automaton. I can't fucking say the word. They had
automaton.
You had Rory.
Yes.
But did you have teeth?
I don't have a mouth.
Yes, and how do you know they didn't attack my ship because they thought you might be stowing away on it? Or just attacking any ship in the sector because they thought you might have gotten off and on to something?
Because my earlier model of my suits kind of looked like Rory.
So that's definitely why they attacked me then, because they thought you were on board. That is what you are telling me.
Most likely. Now, I've tried to hide from them as best as I could, and it's not really like I don't want people to hunt me. But I can't take them out by myself. And I did not intend for you, any of you, to get in the line of this. To be fair, I didn't know you. I didn't know that you were some galactic scientist recording events of natural disaster. Nor that you had someone close to you, and that I just tried to stay out of their way.
I can appreciate your situation to a degree. You seem to misunderstand the nature of where I came from. I think most people do. It's not difficult to see why.
To be honest, it is a lot to comprehend. I don't know much about space other than what I visited and the nearby proximity of where I've grown up. I know machinery, that's what I do. But I don't know the bigger concepts.
Well,
so, pardon me if I'm sounding a little bit... I can't believe I say this, but I sound a little bit stupid when talking about the bigger things.
I sound stupid all the time. It is part of learning and growing. This is probably something
you and I are
should
literally two of the smartest creatures most likely on this planet currently.
Probably on most. But let's not get too big in the head. The rule, and this is probably something Apollo needs to hear at some point, but the reason they don't interact with the universe, the reason we don't, and it kind of, I feel like it ties a little bit into your running away and them attacking me. They believe recording what happens and letting it happen has to be that way because we cannot track what will happen afterwards. Should we intervene in a world and stop their destruction, perhaps the next great galactic evil emerges from that because it was allowed to survive. If we allow one civilization to not go across another. Maybe the other one becomes out worse. There's no way of tracking or figuring out what will come of changing the universe in such a way because we know when it will begin, or at least have an idea of what will start. The ramifications of the after are too mind-bendingly large to comprehend that they believe the universe must know what it's doing in some way, or that the current flow of time is what it is.
But what's to say that your role isn't to actually intervene?
Well, this was my point exactly, Gurgle. This is what I was trying to, and am trying to put across, that worrying about the future by not affecting the present is not a way to go or to live. They don't believe that. They cannot believe that. At the present moment, I am trying to be that change. Yes, I sat and I watched a lot of history unfold. A lot of people I spoke to personally while I was down there, eradicated by great weapons, the upsurge of technology, religious factions sweeping across nations, anything that could and will take from the universe. And I want to stop it now, which is why I'm here.
Sort of like how I want to kill my former crew.
I mean,
Although from different reasons.
Bit of a reach.
I mean, that's not why that is a stretch, but you are a malleable man, so I will give it to you.
Yeah, it literally is, yeah.
Pretty much the definition of my race, yeah.
Look, I will undo the probation role. I do not believe in whatever way you have done it, you meant to affect me in the way you have. I was just angry, and I have seen the face of my beloved for the first time in a long time. In a memory I can only watch now. So, as long as you promise to not cause too much in the way of just, what you do, I think we can get to the same goal.
I can try.
You will try. Do or do not. There is no try.
we take his inspiration off him, please, DM. That was...
No.
You made an owl joke in the sewer.
I did make an owl joke in the sewer
again.
I have no leg to stand on. You are absolutely right.
Yoda quotes are valid. We're playing SpellJammers.
Right, okay, so I'll try my best to be less me, I guess.
No, that's not what I'm saying, Gurgle. What I'm saying is don't fire, give weapons, or just don't instill chaos into the world. Just do it in small bursts at the things we need to die, not just the universe as a whole. How about that? Just focus your energy on the enemy.
It's almost as if he's taught this lesson before.
Do you think you can do that?
I'll do that. If you can promise me one thing.
Okay.
The whole reason why I'm telling you is because so that we don't have this meeting of ours displayed amongst the rest of the group. The less people that know about me, the better for me.
I mean,
The
Gurgle...
more people that know about me, the less good for them.
Gurgle, and I say this was in the nicest possible way. If someone was to question them about you, and it was at life or death, Bella and Apollo would probably go, yes, I do know him. We all know who you are. There's no getting around it. You're just going to have to accept that they know you.
Yeah, and I'll deal with that bridge when I get to it. But I'm just saying that maybe just not,
I will allow you to tell
seems
them.
to have a problem with us as it is. I don't think that we need to give him another reason and go looking for the people that are trying to kill him.
I mean, Apollo has a problem with most people. I think it's just the way he is. Look.
To be fair, I have a problem with most people as well, but that's just me in general.
Look, and he sort of extends a hand to you for like the little gooey handshake. I will allow you to tell them in your own time, but if the time comes and you have not said anything and danger approaches, I will tell them whether you are agreeing or not. Okay?
Fair enough.
Excellent.
And a little flap comes out,
And
and,
you just see
my pseudopod comes out and gives a little shake.
It's like he's got one of those sticky like hand things, and he just like shakes it a bit.
You
know those things from like an egg? You just like the slap hands.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Apollo, you approach the outhouse with Darius and Rory stationed outside.
I kind of approach and just kind of give a knowing nod to Rory, and then just kind of, without saying a word to Darius, just kind of, or kind of the sign that I've seen Caleb do to just check if he's okay.
And he signs back, hanging in there. And you don't know exactly what that is, but you kind of get the gist from his mannerisms.
Yeah. Like, I sign, are you okay? He signs back, and I'm like, cool, yeah, that means he's good.
That means nothing to me.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh yeah, he's sound. I will check him over, make sure that if there's any sign of injury, I will cast Cure Wounds on him. I will roll if needed, but I assume it's just for flavor.
Yeah, physically he seems fine, but you notice that as you kind of cast Cure Wounds on him, he's still kind of flickering with his vision. Like, there still seems to be an issue with it, and he kind of like looks around, like closes his eyes and opens them again. And it's just like, thank you.
Just okay. And I just kind of like go back to the car and I pick a tin of peaches or whatever I found.
Yeah.
And I just like crack it open and just like offer it to him and be like.
He just fucking downs it.
Yeah.
He's just like, I need that.
Downing peaches.
Yeah.
He's like Popeye, just crushed the can. Peaches.
No, don't stop.
I then turn to Rory and go, Rory, we have some provisions that might require some assistance. Are you happy to help, or would you prefer to keep a perimeter?
I would be happy to do whatever you like.
This is where we're going to exercise free will and choice. I would like you to decide what you would prefer to do.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Can I scout the immediate area for any danger, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll me. There's not even a point of rolling. At the moment, it seems clear.
Okay, cool. Then I will, after 30 seconds or so of scanning the perimeter, I will assist with the stuff.
Okay. I'm just, again, with Rory's help, just kind of like taking stuff. Like, I think what we'll do is like kind of shuttle runs just up and down the stairs just to get it down into the bunker first, before I even start going in. And then once it's all down and we're kind of Rory and I are at the bottom, I'll just kind of turn and go, thank you, friend. Did we make much of a discovery down there? Sorry I left in such a hurry, but I couldn't help myself.
Some progress was made, but many things remain inconclusive. Gio will be able to update you on the situation.
Wonderful. Well, let's hope that he's updated someone else first.
Did you find what you were looking for?
No and yes. I found what I was looking for in the immediate, but what I yearn for seems firmly out of my grasp at the moment. But time is a miraculous thing, and maybe one day.
I have good news for you.
Swings.
Oh, really? I could use that today.
You are no longer at the bottom of my priority user list.
Rory.
I'm gonna have to murder Rory, aren't I?
Rory, that is quite honestly the best thing I've heard all day.
Please do not go away from me again. I cannot protect you if I do not know where you are. And that is my primary function.
I missed you too, buddy. And I just kind of like pick some stuff up and kind of turn and start walking away.
There is a very brief like processing thing.
Yeah.
When you say that you missed him.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how Apollo took it. Apollo was like, "Oh, he missed me."
He's just trying to figure out what missing someone means.
Yeah. And Apollo's kind of walking away doing the same thing, going like, "Really? Like it was just like actual distance, not like time up. That's weird, but sure, that's kind of how he works. That's fine." And I kind of like walk in, hand full of things, and I just kind of go, like even to like the first person, and just be like, "Can we? I've managed to gather what little I could. Could you help?"
Hearing you kind of exchange words with Rory up top, and like as you guys have brought stuff down and continue the conversation, if you kind of walked in like with one of the bigger crates of items you've been able to find, you just hear like the little pitter-patter of steps, and the weight of the crate does not lift at all, but you see two hands appear on the other side, and you see a jumping up Boots going, Did you know? You're back. Did you know that your friend has tentacles?
Did not know that. Wait, can we wait?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Nobody checked!
And then I will hand the box off to the nearest adult and just go,
Okay.
Start handing that out as best you can. Make sure everybody gets their equal share. And I kind of like lean down and go, I did not know that he had tentacles. Which one? Please tell me it's the bluish looking one.
The one in the rope, the suit, the Warforged.
The Warforged? Oh! I did not know that.
Yes, he opened up his little his suit, I suppose, and he reached out with a little tentacle to the other one, the Geo.
That is crazy.
As they were talking about a lot of stuff, I don't really understand any of it.
Was
But
it
they
good
seemed-
or bad?
I don't know. They seemed kind of angry at each other. You know how?
So it was good.
When my mom and dad had squabbles over who was meant to be cooking dinner, they kind of look like that.
And who won that squabble? Who usually cooked dinner? Boots.
My dad.
And was he good at cooking, or was your mum better at cooking?
Neither of them were very good at cooking.
Well, that was the same for my mum and dad too. My dad used to cook these. He called them his Monday night specials, and it was pretty much just everything we had left from the days before, and he put them all in a pot, and it usually wasn't good. Right? That's how I usually reacted. Tell me, what do you remember of your mum and dad?
I know that my dad was a tailor. He made lovely clothes, and he once made me a little suit because it was my sister's wedding. She's much older than me, and I had a lovely little suit, and it was really nice, and it had like silver lace on it, and I really liked it.
Your dad was a goblin tailor. Well,
Yes.
you'll never guess what I found.
What?
I found small goblin tailor statue. And I bet it looks just like your dad. Wait. And I just kind of like go into my bag and I pull out this small metallic figurine that's been like the mending spell a lot.
Yeah.
a lot on it. And I go, look. And it's obviously like it's like a small figurine of a knight, but the sword has kind of like snapped and thinned down, so it genuinely looks like a tiny little needle. But I'm like, oh, thank fucking God it was a tailor. And because of the way that the helmet on the knight is frayed, where the metallic work, it kind of looks like two pointed ears, but it's actually the helmet.
Yeah.
Is this... Now, you know when I said before that I can cast spells?
Yes.
I can also...
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It's got you there.
There's different kinds of magic. Now, the magic that casting spells on is one thing, but I can do other kinds of...
Can you do like what my dad did? And he sometimes made the clothes change, like shimmer.
I can. Not right now. I need to sleep first, but I can do that.
Okay.
Anyway, now, and I just kind of like put this down, and I'm like, now, what about your mom? What did your mom look like?
My mom was, quite a bit older than my dad. It was a bit of a scandal.
Good for him.
But
Nice.
she would sometimes did a lot of things. Really, she owned a bakery, and she also helped out with people's gardens and stuff like that. She did kind of a lot of odd, different jobs.
He was a baker.
Sometimes, yes.
Did you know I found another goblin baker? Now this
No
is obviously
way.
it's the same kind of knight, but in this instance, the knight held a great axe, but the axe bit is snapped off, so it is literally just holding like a small wooden nub.
A rolling pin.
Which is a rolling pin, and I kind of like pull this thing out of my bag, and I'm like,
No way.
now I didn't think so either.
You didn't know.
No.
I didn't tell you.
You didn't.
Did you read my mind? Do you know my mom and dad?
I don't know your mum and dad, but I think that if I had, that I would believe that they're the most wonderful people, and that you are a very, very lucky little boy.
You can see that Boots is kind of like trying to keep a brave face.
Yeah.
And you can see like just like eyes like glistening.
He kind of like drops down to both knees and like grabs hold of his hands and kind of looks and goes, "It's okay. I know what you must be feeling. I, believe it or not, love my mummy and my daddy very much too, but they're not coming back for me. Now, I'm not saying your mummy and daddy are doing the same, but until they do, let's make each other a promise.
Okay.
Let's make sure, and we promise each other to keep each other safe until our mummies and our daddies come back to get us."
With this knife.
Who gave you that?
Nobody?
Boots, who gave you the knife?
I wasn't meant to tell anybody about the knife.
Well, I'm glad you told me, but I'm not going to. I'm not angry. I'm just
disappointed.
No. I'm not going to say that. I'm not angry, but that is a very nice knife, and if we were to damage it and it was to get lost, we'd be very sad.
I'm only to use it in very dangerous situations.
Exactly. You are. And right now, there isn't need for it. But what would you feel like if you lost it?
Sad. Because then I couldn't protect everybody.
Well, how about this? I'll keep it safe, and then when you need to protect people, I will give it you back. Because if you lost it in the meantime, you wouldn't be able to protect anyone. And I'm really good at keeping hold of things.
Does this
Like-
mean you're staying around?
I'm going to stay as close to you as I possibly can. I also have another surprise for you. But
You do not have a model of my sister.
I didn't
There's
know
no
you.
way.
I didn't know that you had a sister. But if I did, I would have gotten another one for you. But no, it's not that. How about we do a trade?
Okay.
I'll give you something much better than a knife.
What's much better than a knife?
A gun.
Here is a plasma cannon. And he just kind of holds his hand out and smiles.
See, this is just like the amulet. You said that I could have it, and then you were like, no.
Oh, okay. And he takes a small bar of chocolate out of his bag and goes, "I'll eat this all to myself."
Just gives you you immediately.
That's what I thought. And I kind of put the knife back in my
But
bag.
I get it back, yes? I get it back?
You can have it back when you need it, not until then. Now, report on the wounded, please.
So the wounded are taken care of. They are stable. Nobody has died.
Insight check. I'm joking. Well,
Everyone is dead with several stab wounds.
Everyone is dead. Everyone's...
I helped
Boots has
with
gone
my
on a
knife.
murder spree.
They
Well,
were suffering and I stopped it.
haven't
God.
you done well? Now,
I think I'm actually really good at this. I think maybe I should do this to take care of people.
I think you should. Would you like me to show you how?
Yes? I mean, you did. You
No.
need to bandage them,
Yep.
give them the medicine.
But did you know that there are other ways of helping people? And you know how I can do magic? The spell kind,
Yes.
not the...
You're really confusing
one.
me.
Don't worry, it's a very confusing time.
Okay.
I can teach you how to do that.
Okay.
Like, look. And I take his knife out and I kind of push it onto my hand.
Well, this is not an
It's okay.
emergency.
It's okay. And like put the knife back and then I watch. And then I'll cure wounds on myself to like heal it and just kind of like move my hand over my hand like. See?
Kind of grabs your hand and is like turning it over, trying to find.
See? Magic.
How did you do that?
I will teach you. Now, often when these sorts of powers, they're given to those that are devout to a usual religious following. Now, I'm not going to stuff that down your throat. But there are also other means in which people can gain magical abilities. It might already be well within you, Boots. If your dad was able to use magic, then maybe you are too. Maybe we see if we can't harness some of that.
What, like, how? Because Uncle Caleb, he, like, makes the potions and stuff like that. And then I think my dad, I don't know what my dad used.
Some people, Boots, some people in this world, they're born with magical innate abilities. Now they may lie dormant, which means that they don't bubble to the surface at your age. But as time goes on and as you get older, those magical abilities within you may awaken. And once they do, I will teach you to harness them, to use them for good. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Good. But if I'm to do this, then you must come with me. But I cannot do that without speaking to Knives first, so don't get your hopes up. Also, if you do, you must wash first. You smell really, really, really bad. And just kind of like wink and smile at him.
I know. I want a shower. Bath. Whatever. I see, like, Boots is kind of, like, thinking and is trying to remember if you've ever said where you're from or where you came from. And all he's thinking in his mind is far away, far away, far away. You can see, like, there's excitement, but also hesitation and fear in his eyes. He's like, okay, I think it's probably best to talk to Knives. Knives says that I'm not old enough to go places with people I don't know too well. Says don't talk to strangers, but you guys seem to be here to help, and then you taught me how to help these guys, and I didn't kill anybody.
You sure?
So, yes, I promise.
Let me talk to Knives. I don't want to take you from this place if she has desperate need for you, but I'd like you to see where I come from. Maybe the people there can help you the way that they helped me.
Okay.
But only if Knives says it's okay. If she says no, then we kill her in her sleep and we do it anyway. I'm joking,
What?
Boots. I'm joking. It's a joke. It's maybe
Okay.
when you're older. Go and help them give out the food and the blankets, and once you've done that, I want you to make sure that your bed's made and
It's already made. I got ready to leave, just like you said.
go make sure that the patients are okay as well. And I just kind of like stand up, ruffle his little tatty head,
Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of... Okay. And I kind of walk in, kind of see that Geo and Gurgle are kind of having a heated discussion in the corner and just kind of turn away from it immediately.
Yeah, that conversation's kind of come to a close now, because obviously I said that Boots had kind of, unbeknownst to these guys, seen and overheard parts of it. You see Bella is kind of just wandering in the kind of main area. You see Aqua in the room towards the back, kind of pacing up and down, going, Caleb, come on! Like, I don't know where she's going. I need this now. And you hear Caleb's like low drawl to go, I'm working on it as much as I can, okay? This is unknown territory for me. But that is what you see. Knives, at the moment, you can't see her.
I can't see Knives.
You can't see Knives at the moment, no.
Okay. After I've...
Having finished my discussion with Gurgle, do I see Apollo now in the
you
bunk
see
with the rest of
Apollo
us?
come in, yeah.
All right.
And then Rory, I assume you're kind of still helping escort the the supplies into the main chamber type of thing.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say, once I'd finished doing that, I would report to Brownie to get a status update on her orbit and when she will be approaching a suitable time to beam us up.
She kind of like comes over the comms and it's just like, well, I mean, nope, that's not her voice. Well, I mean, we're basically ready whenever. So just give us a heads up. We will give us your coordinates and we will beam you up.
Acknowledged. Stand by.
And you hear, hi, Rory.
Hello, Flapjack.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm a bit bored. There's not really much to do here.
I've missed you.
I've missed you too. It's not the same without you guys here.
It is very different down here. There is a lot of dead people.
Oh, there's not a lot of dead people here.
That's good.
I thought I might be dead. It's okay. We sorted it out. Didn't we, Brownie? Yes, we did. We sorted it out. So we're all good. And also, Rory,
killing Brownie.
Rory, I was thinking that, we were talking about raining cats and dogs. I've decided that is stupid.
I concur. I do not think it is physically possible for cats and dogs to be carried by precipitation.
No, and even if they were to fall from the sky, who's doing that? Who is just throwing cats and dogs onto ground? It makes no sense. People are stupid.
I'm glad we've come to this conclusion. Our last conversation now seems much less confusing.
I agree. I just wanted to let you know that that's what I've been thinking about, and that I love you and I miss you and I'll see you soon. And you just hear kind of like, would you stop doing that? And the comm line goes dead.
And as everyone's sort of finishing their sort of individual conversations and gathering towards the center, I'll just tell them over the comm links.
Which I don't have. But yeah, fine.
Our ship will soon be in position to beam us back aboard. Is everyone ready to leave?
Yes, we do need to get back to SpellJammer quickly. We've done what we can here.
I'm waiting on just Caleb to do a little project for me. Hopefully it won't take long.
As you're saying this, you hear, aha! And you...
Eureka!
Eureka!
What time is
Cracked it! You hear like a little ow, as Aqua clearly has just grabbed the rings from Caleb and is sprinting towards you and just holding it out and just kind of looks around, dramatically gets to one knee. So, Bella, I do bequeath this ring unto you so that we may communicate across universes. Large distances.
You are so dramatic, and I love it. And she grabs it.
Literally, Apollo goes,
On.
that was beautiful.
You just see Geo's like,
You hear
Like
a little
a ruckus.
You hear a little polyphonic.
And a slight bath.
You really
And,
are kissing a
God,
hug.
what does plasmoid puke look like?
Oh, no.
Just more
Plasmoid.
plasmoid. That's how they grow.
And you
Oh,
hear
don't say
a,
that.
you're welcome from the back room.
And over the Aqua's shoulder, I do shout, "Thank you so much. This means the world."
You're welcome. I know that. And he kind of like is making his way out, like wiping his hands, which are a bit greasy at this point. You don't know what he's been doing. And he's like, "You don't know how much I've had Aqua talk my ear off about you, so
I think
this will
I do.
hopefully be a way to mitigate how much suffering I have to take. Hey, you like my stories? I might like your stories, but there's only so many times I can hear Bella this, Bella that. Bella's amazing. I get it. I've seen her in action. She's pretty great when she's not constricted by vines. But I'm happy you two found each other again. That's all I'm gonna say."
Thank you.
Caleb, apologies for interrupting this beautiful moment. Do you know where Knives is, please?
Oh yeah, she's taking a dump. I'm sure she'll be done second. People shit in D&D.
They do.
And after she's done, she might be probably one of the only people around here that isn't full of shit. And just kind of like walks towards the back room.
I mean,
Oh my god!
like Geo just turns around and goes, "I assume he's including himself in that, so you're there, right?"
Oh my god, you guys! And you hear kind of, you just hear. I'm not going to describe it, but you
No,
hear.
yeah.
Knives.
Anyway, yeah.
It's a
Moving
healthy
on.
sounding bowel movement.
Yeah, it's very healthy.
One single heavy flop.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing that thing like out of shit movies where I'm just like loitering outside the bathroom stall. I'm not like knocking on the, I'm just like.
So in that horror movie where you see the footsteps going
Yeah,
right to the bottom
it's
of the
not-
stall
it's not like that.
and
It's
then
not like
You see
turn.
Apollo looking over. You done?
I'm just kind of like moving away from the rest of the group.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
kind of
but-
like going back towards the lavatories.
Yeah. So.
I do send him a quick message, just saying the ship's almost ready. Because I'm aware he does not have a comlink.
He doesn't respond.
So the kind of lavatory door opens and kind of Knives is just wiping her hands on her trousers. She's like, "Oh, Apollo, are you guys? What's your plan?"
I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really spoke to the others since I got back. I believe that we're making way soon. I just wanted to. Do you have a moment?
Yeah, it's not exactly anywhere quiet here, but
Well, let's maybe go somewhere that's a little less, more private than here.
okay. And she just leads you back up top to where Darius is.
I believe that my traveling companions and I are set to set sail soon. I apologize that it might be very soon after what has happened. I just want to make sure that you're okay. And when I left, I made sure that I got as much provisions as I possibly could out of the town on my own. I brought a cart back. There's not much, but it should keep you going for a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
I would honestly advise that you take your people out of here. There are others, and I came across a group of survivors. They were hiding out in the sewer systems around here. They may not be the only ones.
Okay. If you are all sure, which the others seem to kind of reassure me, that the issue here that caused all this has been dealt with and there won't be further problems, I think I might have a plan. and how to get us back on track. I know a druid, a few days' travel from here, who might be able to help us restore and bring some life back.
Then I would take your people and seek them out. Try to find some form of respite from here. Some solace, sanctuary, if you can. It's going to take some time before anybody's able to rebuild this place, and the longer you stay here, the greater risk that you and your people are under. We're not going to be here to protect you going forward, and I fear that if we're not, then you may be susceptible to outside incursion. And if that were the case, then you could fall into a well with a bad lot.
Okay, we kept ourselves going for a couple weeks before you guys arrived. I think we can handle ourselves until we find...
Please, I apologize. It was not meant as an insult or like to kind of discredit your abilities as warriors. You've shown, certainly yourself, as you're a great leader, Knives, and these people need you, and I just want a better future for all of you. That being said, you've probably noticed, but I've become a little bit of a kinship towards Boots. Now, I know that he is part of your group here, but I see great potential in him. Somewhat that I've seen it in others too. Now, the people that where I come from originally, we are not just an order of followers of Paladine, but we are a number of individuals that vow our lives to justice and order and doing right by people and helping people. I see great potential in him, and with your blessing, I'd like to further his teachings and training. Under my guidance, he would be under my tutelage, and therefore my protection. No harm shall come to him while I draw breath. The world is a great place, and for such a small person, especially with the desolate lot that you have found yourself in, it can be quite dangerous. And not that I don't trust your ability to keep him safe, but there is an opportunity here for him to achieve something far greater than he may or may not be able to achieve here. Now, I need you to trust in me, and when I say that the people I talk about, they don't take advantage of those in need. I was with them from a very young age, and I've turned out to be, well, somewhat of a good person. An argument could be made of others' interpretation of my interactions with others, but for the most part, I do what I can to help people, in whatever way I can. If I can bestow those traits upon young Boots there, I have every faith that he's going to turn into a great man one day.
You all did not seem as shocked as I anticipated you would at the sight of those things coming at us. How do I know that if I said yes to send him off with you, that he would be safe? You haven't even told me where you're from. Apollo, I understand you see potential in him. I see that too. He is strong and resilient and smart. But he's just lost his parents. He's hoping they'll return to him.
I know. And it must be difficult for you to understand the question and the reasonings behind why I would ask you this. Because as you say, you know very little about us. But from what you've seen, we're very capable individuals, and very capable warriors that would keep him from harm. Now the group in which we belong to, stem far from here, almost across the entire world. It is an intricate network of individuals who are far more capable than we, and some that are far more connected than, well, most. The group itself, they look after those that come to them with little to no luck. Knives, if I were to tell you where I'm from originally, I doubt you'd even believe me. But I have faith in you, and I trust that you will not repeat this. I am from a place far from here. Far from here. A place that not many ships can go. And when I was there, my parents and I traveled to the outer reaches of any known lands that you could have on any map. My parents were explorers, you see. And they did right by me for the time that they were with us. But they no longer are, and I was thrust into a life of abandonment myself. Always doing what Boots was doing for a long time, looking at every door that opened expectantly, until I found the group that I belonged to, who gave me the family that I needed at the time. I'm purely trying to give Boots the same thing. We both know that the reality of his parents walking through any door as he wants is nigh on impossible. I'm just trying to give the boy some hope. Now look. Knives, this is your decision. You're his guardian. And if you choose that he is destined for a life with you, then I will respect that decision.
It is hard to think about letting him go to areas unknown. But you do have my blessing, if that is what Boots wishes.
Thank you. Just know that no harm shall come to him. Not while I draw breath.
I will cave my great axe into your skull if that turns out not to be the case.
Then we have an agreement. Let's hope it does not come to that, but it never will. Knives, thank you for trusting me. You've done me an honor more than most have over the recent weeks.
I sense that amidst you all, you have some tensions you need to iron out. A group does not work if they do not talk, if they do not communicate. You all need to sit down in a room and iron your shit out. Because that's what we did right at the start.
You know, you're getting wise in your young years.
Oh, you flatterer.
But you're right, there are tensions, and this group have their burdens to bear, both individually and group. But I sense that, as much as it is an unfortunate fate, worlds will be destined to burn without us. Wouldn't you know, this ragtag bunch of misfits that barely get along with each other may be the saviors of a lot more than ourselves.
I can see it. You all just need to learn to communicate a bit better. We wouldn't have survived as long as we have.
Well,
without talking.
I'm trying to err on the side of forgiveness and understanding. I think there's a point within this group that, especially something that we should probably talk about, is just having that throughout. Mutual forgiveness and understanding and...
Everybody needs to realize, and I would say this to them all if they were here, that the past is the past. Your actions and what you choose to do now going forward are what matter.
I couldn't agree with you more.
But you have my permission in terms of with Boots. Let's go back in if you are to head off soon. Ask what he thinks, and we'll say goodbyes. And I thank you, Apollo. I thank all of you for what you've done for us.
You're very welcome. But, Knives, this is up to you now. These people are relying on you.
Oh, don't worry. I've got a plan. Never without a plan.
I know someone very close to me that would get along brilliantly with you. They also love plans. Not that they ever go to plan. Have you noticed that
there's this
most
thing
of the
where you
plans that
start
you
planning and then you plan for so
and
long and then it just falls apart.
Yeah, because you can't then kind of take into account the things that happen along the route of that plan. And honestly, you'd love them. They're a captain of a ship that God, I miss that ship. Fastest vessel that you've seen in, well, ever. And they fancy themselves as a bit of a charlatan, so to speak. And they always came up with the plans, and it was always like the best plan. But then things changed almost instantaneously. But then they came up with a new plan, and that.
Don't you do this to me? Don't you do this to me?
God, I miss them.
Space Clovis.
Clovis in space.
Let's go and we'll speak to Knives together. I'd like to do it together. Boots.
I'm
fucking
Knives.
out, sorry. Let's go and speak. Let's 2.5 gins and 2 bitters down, mate. Let's go and speak to Boots together. I think it's best it comes from us.
Yes, I agree.
This is a big change, and not one that should be forced upon him.
He's had a lot of change in the past couple of weeks. I have a feeling he might take this well.
And before he goes, maybe give him something that reminds him of you and the people here. He might not be coming back for some time.
Not a knife.
Nice.
Hands him the great axe.
Yeah, I've got one of those. He'll grow into it.
But yes, so you return, back down. The others, are you all kind of getting ready to leave? Kind of anything anybody in particular wants to do before kind of the big goodbye? Big bye?
When Apollo returns from the area, he says,
Apollo, I've missed you. We are ready to go.
I've missed you too, my friend. If we're all ready, I have something I need to do quite urgently, but I'll be with you in a moment. And then I'll kind of head off with Knives.
What? Okay. See you later.
I can't believe this is happening. Okay. Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I
bringing a kid on the journey.
I know, right?
I can't believe this is happening.
It's alright, set him up a user profile. No harm will come to him.
Yeah, nothing will happen to him. But then, go speak to Boots. Tell him that he's going on the biggest adventure of his life.
Okay, and okay, so you said it's far away.
Yep. But look, before we go,
yes.
I take out parchment and a quill. I want you to write your mummy and daddy a letter.
I was
and
going
tell
to
them.
say, yeah.
Tell them that you're just going on holiday, and that if they find Knives, you'll be back very soon.
Okay. Okay.
And also tell them that you love them and you miss them and all that kind of stuff as well.
Obviously, I'm not rude. My
Sure.
mommy and daddy always told me to say, I love you and I miss you and I do love and miss you.
I have a friend that does the same thing. You're going to love them. And I just kind of like smile, scruff his little head, and just
Oh
kind
my
of
god,
like,
the accents are going to get so confusing with
I
those
know.
two, mate.
I know. I know. It's gonna be great.
Blackjack and boots.
I know. And then I kind of like leave him to like write his letter and then walk back to the group and just kind of go, well, we're nearly ready.
Yes, we are, so we can leave now, correct?
In a moment.
What are you waiting for, Apollo? Stop just
Done.
skirting around whatever you're doing.
I'm not skirting around anything. Are you done?
I'm done.
Very well. Grab your things.
I do a picture as well.
You are very,
hold
you are
on.
very bright.
I am sorry, what?
Grab
We're
your
taking
things.
the
with you.
child.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
What are you
Would you
doing,
like me to
Apollo?
set up a new user profile?
No,
I
not
would-
quite yet, Rory.
I would
no.
love you to, Rory. Thank you.
Rory, ignore his orders. Mine go above his. Apollo, what exactly do you think you are doing? What happened to not taking people off of this planet?
Continent.
It's a bit late for that.
No, it's not. Are you ready?
Do you not want me to come?
No, of course we do. Get your things.
No, unilateral decisions? What are you doing, Apollo?
Making a decision.
Oh, you are the most infuriating being I've ever met in my entire life, and that is saying something.
I just kind of turn away from him and walk over to Boots, put his little bag on his shoulders, kind of like straighten him up, and just kind of like hand on his shoulder and walk back past Apollo and the group.
You see,
Bella's gonna turn to Geo and just say, if he feels he needs to do this, then it's on him.
No, it is on all of us. We cannot allow a child to come into this.
You see,
Am I the only
Knives.
rational thinking person here?
You see Knives approach you, Gio. Listen, my friend, I understand that you seem to claim to be the rational one of the lot, and I completely understand where you're coming from, but Apollo has assured me that Boots will be safe, and as someone who has, for years of her life, struggled with anger, you really need to rein that in, because you're not going to communicate very effectively if you continue.
Well, I'm not going to communicate very effectively with someone who allows a child to go as a stranger to somewhere they do not know. Knives, what are you doing? Really? You allow that boy to go with him? You don't know us from a hole in the ground? We were literally in 2 seconds ago. You don't know where he's going or what he's going to do. You have the assurance of a man you met maybe a day ago, and he is gone.
At this point, I'm kind of helping Boots up the ladder. And I'm helping him up, and when we get to the surface, I just kind of like, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. I have something very important that I need you to keep hold of for me. And I kind of take my amulet off, put it around his neck, go, keep it safe.
I don't want to come if nobody wants me there.
Kind of like kneel down and go, don't worry. They'll come around. I told you. Coming because I'm going to teach you everything I know. We're going to go somewhere that is going to absolutely blow your mind. And you're going to learn things that you couldn't possibly try and learn here. Boots, don't be sad. My friend, he has a short temper, sure. But he's arguably one of the smartest people I've ever met. For his sins. And the others, well, they're wonderful. All of them. I wouldn't be here without them. And as I said, it won't just be me that looks after you. All of us. You can learn a great deal from all of them. Maybe not the one that gave you the knife. I'd probably stay clear of that one. Unless he's talking to you about mechanical things, and then he's wonderful.
Well, sorry.
Yeah, no, I've gone.
I thought you finished.
Yeah, you're okay. Go.
While this sort of this discussion is heating up between Bella, Knives, and Geo, Rory will kind of walk up beside Geo and just interrupt and say,
I have an analysis of the situation, if you would like to hear it.
Useful. Let me know your analysis.
This is by far the most hostile environment we have been in so far. It is not a good idea to leave a defenseless child here. However, the SpellJammer Academy seems an incredibly safe place. Perhaps that would be a better location for someone so innocent.
And what about everyone else, Ro? What about the rest of the people down here suffering, dying, being stuck on a deadly planet? What about them?
Our ship only has so much capacity. Boots is the best candidate for rescue and extraction.
No, he's the candidate. He's the candidate because Apollo found him, liked him, and decided to go hypocrisy on me. Fine, we will take him, but I am blaming every single one of you for anything that happens. I do not understand you all. Sometimes you want to save and then you bring them into the line of fire.
Would you like me to repeat my analysis?
Like he stalks past you and just climbs straight up the thing, looks to Apollo, stalks straight past him, and just in the con goes, Brownie, beam us up. We are ready to go.
As you walk past him, Rio's Rio? Fuck,
Rio?
It's me as well.
Yeah, it's a
As
shit
you,
name.
as you walk
Ah.
past him, Bella, you would notice that as he sort of goes to walk towards, but then past Rory, Rory's hand kind of slightly extends from beside him to try and catch Gio's hand. But then as he walks past, it just closes again and returns to his side.
Bella's going to turn to Aqua. Looks like we have to go now. I will keep in
them.
contact.
Also, keep them in check.
There's
Seems
a
like
lot of strong personalities here.
yeah.
I'll do my best.
Hey, you've got a strong enough personality. I'm sure you'll help them figure it out. And Rory, it's been a pleasure to meet you.
It has been a pleasure to meet you as well, Aqua. I will maintain your user profile.
I would appreciate that. I hope this isn't the last time I see you.
As do I.
As Bella gives her a hug and goes to move away, you do see Cyanide just runs from Bella and kind of just loops around Aqua's neck, giving her a good old snuggle.
I'm gonna miss you
Snuggle.
too, buddy. I'm gonna miss you too.
For returning.
Yeah. And kind of Knives kind of follows you all up, and just before you guys leave outside, she doesn't see you beam up, but says, I just want to say thank you all for helping us. We have a chance now of getting our city back. Without you, we couldn't have done that. We misjudged what it was we were up against, and you guys fought valiantly. And you are welcome back here anytime. Hopefully, it won't be as much of a shambles next time. But Boots, you take care of them. And Boots just kind of like snaps to attention and just gives us a firm nod. I will, don't worry. And Knives, and kind of runs up towards her and whispers something in her ear before they just hug, and you see a tear kind of go down the creases in Knives' cheek before she pulls away. You keep her safe.
You have my word.
Knives,
Yes?
quick word of warning. If you ever go down into the tunnel again, there's a machine back there. Don't touch anything. It's still active. And if anyone touches the rods or pull out the rods, it's gonna go nuclear.
I don't know what nuclear means, but I assume it's bad.
Certain death within at least a 25-mile radius.
And literally Apollo just goes,
Okay, yeah, I will make sure to cordon off that area. Make sure nobody goes in.
Yeah. Some people might be arriving to take care of it.
Okay.
They'll be friends of ours.
Okay. You've got a lot of connections, haven't you all?
And I'll
Yeah.
keep in
Good.
contact with Aqua, so I'm sure she'll give me updates on
Oh.
you as well.
And
And
if
you
you
give us updates on Boots.
Will do.
perfect.
Okay. You
Perfect.
behave, Boots, and thank you all again. Truly. From the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
And with that, she kind of gives you a nod, and Darius kind of gives you a nod before they both return down. You see Aqua kind of run up and give you one last hug and kiss, fella, before leaving. She's like, bye.
Alright, I thought you said Dario runs up and gives someone a hug and a kiss. I was like, I am ready!
No. And you all are beamed back up onto the ship with Boots in tow. And you begin to head back to the SpellJammer Academy. And that is where we are going to end the session for this week. There'll be no SpellJammer next week because, as we mentioned, we have the very exciting collab one shot, and I am very much looking forward to that. So I get a bit of a break from SpellJammer, but I'm sure there's a lot brewing, a lot of tensions in the party. That next time we have SpellJammer, I'm sure it's going to be an interesting one. So,
dude, this has been such a good one, man.
Loved it.
Very heavily role play, and it's where these guys thrive. So I'm very happy to just kind of sit back and steer the ship, as it were.
Can I add one more thing just before we beam up?
Quickly.
Quickly. As we are sort of clumped together because of the beam, Gurgle's going to turn to Boots and go.
You just, and just with that, you just see this massive look of shock before, woof, you are beamed up. And that is where we will end it.
Nice. Please stick around, guys. We are going to be raiding another channel.
We're raiding.
We're going to be This sounds really fun, actually. They're doing a one-piece D&D session.
I want to be involved in that.
Stick around and you can ask them in the chat.
Oh, amazing stuff. Yeah, so thank you guys for sticking with us. That has been an amazing session. And yeah, that was great.
No worries.
Thank you, Han. It was amazing.
See you next week, guys.
Bye, everyone.
See you later.
Peace.